Hello, Michael.
Michael Myers. Born October 19th, 1957.
I ain't telling you to be Michael Myers. I'm playing Michael Myers.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with, Michael Myers himself. We talked to a Leatherface. We've talked to a Cenobite. We've talked to a Jason. Now, Robert Englund. Please give us a call.
Well, we did have Freddy's hand. Didn't we have Freddy's hand?
No. Remember, you reach out to that guy, and I already...
All right, forget it.
Yeah, remember there was a weird thing with that? So we'll leave that in there. He was a really nice guy that I talked to. Just there wasn't really much to talk about, but he was a cool guy. But yeah, so Brad Lorry, stuntman, and then he had the opportunity to be Michael Myers. Almost played Jason, but he was happy that his buddy Ken Kirzinger, who was a lot taller, got the role. Man, that would have been something if he'd done the back-to-back years. He would have been both of these movies. We had some great stories about getting into the stunt game, Jack Lemmon, and so much more. So if you haven't listened to that, wait until after this amazing review of Halloween Resurrection, the movie that he'd done the mask in, and he had some great behind-the-scenes stories. So check that out after this review. And I'm excited to talk about this one, especially after watching Halloween Ends, which we'll talk about. Well, we're not going to talk about it a lot, but it was such a disappointment, and it made me love what, not that this is the greatest Halloween, but just this movie sticks to the formula. It doesn't try to do anything sort of super different, and it's the 8th film in the franchise.
Hold on, did we watch the same movie?
I hope you watched the right one, like when you watched New Blood when we were doing A New Beginning.
All right. Listen, what goes on in the podcast, behind the scenes of podcast, stays behind the scenes.
I have that'll be released one day. Maybe 50,000 listens, which we're close to. But that's the voice of, if you're not watching this, that's the voice of my co-pilot on the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm okay, but I'm a little confused. You said that this movie follows the same formula, but this is a completely different kind of Halloween movie.
Well, the setting of it, but there's no in
the plot of it.
The plot of what do you mean? He's killing people. That's what you want in a movie. You don't want supernatural stuff coming into it. I don't want to hear about some black guy that's just wearing an outfit, like a guy dressed in a black hat and a black robe, and that's the main guy in a movie. I'm like, why is that the whole story of part 6?
Okay, all right, we have to get into this.
Cult.
A cult. This takes. Oh, I can't. I did not like this movie. Shocking. I know it's shocking, but to me, this didn't even feel like a Halloween movie. It feels like a forced Halloween movie. And
wow.
I mean, listen, I don't know. I have I have a couple of big questions. So once we introduce our guest, we get into it because I have a lot of, questions about Michael Myers himself.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's introduce him. To remember all the movies that people have done are so hard, but Nick's a little bit easier because he's our Munchie expert. So Munchie Strikes Back, Cannonball Run 2, Piranha 2. What else, Nick? Is that it?
Rocky 5.
Rocky 5. So we gave you a good one.
And
whoa, wait a second. Rocky 5? We said Cannonball Run 2. That's the good one. Rocky 5 was not the good one. I can't believe you said that.
Okay.
Oh wait, so you mean Boys Go to College was not the
that was the best one. Okay, yeah. That is true. Doug of the Pontiacs, I have that song queued up, so I can always play it whenever I want. And that's the voice of our guest to help us talk about Halloween 8. You know what's funny when you think about these movies? You don't think about what number they are, but then there's a funny correlation between another 8th in a franchise and this one. We'll get to when we get to it. But yeah, Nick Sbordone. Nick, how you doing, man?
Doug, Jamie, thank you for having me back. It's great to be here. But I'm going to make a bold statement.
Oh,
I was more scared during Munchie than I was during this movie. That was more of a horror movie to me. But no, it was a really great watch, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys.
Was it a great watch, though?
Okay, good.
we'll get to that. There were things, but
I was happy that it was only a 90-minute movie.
Well, that's what horror movies should be.
This is a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a horror movie. What do you mean? There's kills?
Was it okay? There's kills in a Steven Seagal movie. I don't consider that a horror movie.
His running is horror.
That is true. That is scary.
And his Italian accent.
Jamie, you said it was a 90-minute movie. This felt like The Godfather length to me. Like this felt long.
No, I feel like it did go by fast. I did because we've done movies that were long. It did move, but okay. So I'm gonna say it right off the bat. I never saw H2O, but from what I remember. I remember it coming out. I remember the ending and everything else. He gets his head chopped off in H2O, correct?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. But somehow the backstory here, and this is right at the beginning, I'm not giving anything away. The backstory here is that an ambulance driver dons the mask and his head gets chopped off.
No, it's not that he dons the mask. He puts him in the mask.
Oh, okay. But I understand he can't speak because his larynx was ripped out. But
no.
Okay, hold on.
I know.
But okay, so maybe I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I didn't know if your larynx is taken out that your arms don't move to be able to take the mask off.
Or to drop the knife that you're holding.
Correct. So does that so having your larynx taken out, does that make you a mass murderer?
Also, I wonder if this has any kind of retaliation effect to Friday the 13th Part 5 with the ambulance driver. I don't know. Maybe
it could be the ambulance part. No, but
this
Jamie,
is what we think of ambulance drivers.
About that's one thing that's funny about the beginning of this movie was that we get the exposition of a lifetime. We've done so many movies that have title screens. This one had when the young nurse that looked like she was training, she was new there, and the older nurse basically is giving the whole story. You're like, wait, that last scene of H2O, he's actually sort of fighting her in the ambulance and then gets dumped out, pinned in a tree, and then gets his head chopped off. So the one thing that this franchise does wrong that Jason does right.
The one thing? I was going to say, yeah.
No. There's a lot of things, but the one thing is the end of the movies. For some reason with this franchise, when it got to this point, and there's a cool scene that I found that was a deleted scene, an alternate ending. We'll watch it later. But that the fact that they actually truly kill off, what does Jason do right? Oh, he goes into a bottom of a lake. Oh, how's he going to come back? I don't know. We'll throw something in there and a girl with telekinesis is going to zap her and she's going to come back. Okay, fine. That's for me. I'm fine with all of that. But when they had this kind of shoehorning, oh, he's back now, is he broke the guy's larynx and put a mask on him, and then she chopped his head off.
Okay. So you already mentioned it that you have this young doctor, and this is the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that exposition was amazing.
First of all, how does a young doctor not hear of Michael Myers? That she needed this whole expedition of what's going on. Not to mention, when they were showing clips of Michael Myers, they showed a clip of him coming down from the ceiling with one arm in the clip. Yeah. But that didn't happen yet because it happens in this movie.
No, he did it in H2O too. In back-to-back movies, he did that same scene.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I just watched it last night.
It looked exactly the same though. It looked like they took that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's did they use the same exact scene for H2O for this movie? Or did
it wasn't the same one, but it was a pipe hanging from a ceiling. So it was
if for someone who hasn't seen H2O and just seeing that clip, it made it look like they showed a clip, but it happened in the movie later on and didn't make sense. Because if you didn't see H2O, it looked like the same clip.
So here's the thing that you didn't see. So you haven't seen H2O.
No.
Funny thing is H2O takes place in California because Laurie leaves Louise Haddonfield goes to California. He tracks her down by finding some nurse's paperwork. And then, so at the end of that movie, which is the craziest part, I know the whole breaking the larynx, all that, that's crazy. How about the fact that an ambulance driver is walking around with a huge knife in its hand on a crime scene and no one says anything? And then wouldn't they be anything. Hey, Bob, Bob just walked off into the woods.
And why is he walking around with it?
Yeah, and into the woods and disappearing into the bushes.
And my guess is if someone rips your larynx out, you're probably not gonna be able to walk much. You're gonna be like, I mean, like you might be half dead. I mean, the amount of blood and everything else. So, but so here's a question, and we talk about Jason all the time. I'm sorry, Nick, but so Laurie seems older from the first movie to now, right? She's gotten older, right?
Yeah.
Does Michael Myers age at all?
He does.
He does. He looks exactly the same.
Well, he's wearing a mask.
Right, and the mask
in better shape
okay,
now.
okay. So he's wearing the mask now. This is the 8th movie.
8th.
Okay. Does he have multiple masks, or is it the same one he's worn since the first movie? Because that mask looks so clean. It's as if it's an and same mechanics outfit. And I think we discussed this before. You know, it looks so clean. And he's how many people has he murdered since the first movie? I mean, a good amount.
A lot of people.
A lot.
You're gonna
Well,
tell?
no, you know, he changes his outfit because in the 4th movie.
Yeah.
So really, in the lore of this, like these two movies, H2O and Resurrection, are only go from the 1 and 2.
Yeah, but
So
he had to change
other ones.
He had to change it in that one, right? There was a reason why he changed it.
Well, he was in a mental. He was getting transferred in Halloween.
Right. So he wasn't
So,
dressed.
yeah.
Okay. So, but he's wearing it now. He didn't change. So I would say that's probably the only movie he changed it in. Outside of that, he's wearing the same outfit. At least like Jason, his clothes look ragged. Like, I mean, it's always ripped and ragged. Like Michael Myers looks exactly. I mean, his mask looks so pristine. Like he just bought it at a Five Below.
And the hair changes
because it is a mask. It's a Shatner mask, and then like even in Halloween 5, kids are wearing that for Halloween, which makes no sense.
Wait, so you think he walks into a Five Below with his mask on, buying another mask?
Yes.
Okay.
He has a receipt and he exchanges it.
I wanted to see him take Harold's mask at the end of that the asylum scene.
That could have
Like
been cool.
like they do like a little switcheroo. Like, here, you give me mine. Like, take a penny, leave a penny.
So why do they even have Michael Myers masks, knowing that this guy is a mass murderer wearing that mask? And let's sell it to kids. That's a great idea. You know, it's a great costume. Let's a mass murder that's current. Let's make kids be that mass murderer. Bad parenting.
Bad, yeah, all for $1. They'll be like, man, we can sell so much, but then Michael can get a new mask every few years, and then we won't know it's him. But no, that whole first opening scene, there's like the terrible exposition. But one thing I think that it's cool when you're a director, and what's even crazier is the director of this movie directed Halloween 2. So what he did
blows my mind. Blows my mind. Because Halloween 2 was
actually directed Burst. He directed Birds 2, that TV movie that came out in the early 90s.
Oh,
see, so was this movie? I mean, I don't know any backstory with this movie, but it really does feel like it's a forced movie. Like, I mean, the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis has such a small cameo in this, it's like almost like she didn't want to be in this.
Well, it's kind of like the Sandra Bullock Speed 2 story that she only did Speed 2 so she could do Hope Floats, the studio. She wanted to make H2O because that was her version of what Michael would be doing 20 years later, and how it could be like it's a cool movie. I watched it last night. Great, really good horror movie. But then the next movie, she had agreed to do the next one, but she was basically like, I want it to be done. And it's fun when you watch it behind the scenes. Like some of the other actors are like, yeah, this is Laurie Strode's last time ever doing it. It's like, sure, dude.
Yeah.
16 years later,
she's made like 5 more. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's why she's like only in it for a few minutes, and the way she dies is so stupid, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But the opening scene when they show her room, the Raggedy Ann doll is the same that she has in her room in 78, in the Halloween 78. There's a picture of Josh Hartnett that they show really quick.
The super crumpled, like you didn't have any other pictures of your son other than like this crumpled picture of.
That's it.
Like,
but why
like you printed out of like a printer?
Why have a Raggedy Ann doll that she had when she was a child? Like, is that supposed to?
She's got to hide her pills somewhere.
Yeah, she has to hide them somewhere. Nobody knocks that thing over and hears it shake.
The way she puts the pills in there and then like holds it so the camera can see, like, look, this is where I hide it, and then closes it back up. Hilarious.
Okay, so does that happen to people? You see it in movies all the time that someone has a traumatic experience and they never speak again for years. Does that really happen? Like I feel like I don't think that really happens.
Well, it happened to Danielle Harris in Halloween 5?
Okay, outside of the Halloween storyline,
maybe like only in Halloween movies. Only in Halloween movies, people like can't speak out.
Like I get it that people will be traumatic and like they'll have maybe bad dreams or whatever, but like to be silent for years, I don't know.
It's something.
Okay.
It's something, all right.
And the fact that the fact that nurses say that they find her on the roof all the time, like the security at that that clinic.
Clearly the security is not well when you have a patient who's by himself in the basement. Whose idols are serial killers, who has access to leave anytime he wants. Like no one's.
No, let's talk about that. So when he gets loose and you have the guy that's just walking around, the gate's open.
Wait, you mean the fat security guard who's eating or like they always have like an out of shape security guard? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I see a gate that's opening at a mental hospital, I don't think after I look around for seconds, I don't think the first thing I'm going to do is be like, I'm going to turn my back and light a smoke. That's what you're going to do?
But how can it be? And it seems like it's not the first time he's gotten out. Like he was so nonchalant when he sees him, he gets out all the time. So again, I would think like someone like him, he could be dangerous. I mean, if he's idolizing and knows that much about all these serial killers, you got to watch him. And why is he the only? Yeah. It seemed to be only one room in the basement. There was no other patients down there.
In the basement? What do you mean? Oh, where his room was?
His room was. He was like, it wasn't at a basement.
No, he was on the way to. He was on the way to Lori.
Who?
Wait, the patient's room, like Harold? You mean Harold's room was in the basement?
Yes, it was. It was down the.
No, that was when Michael got in. When they're like, "Hey, if Harold's supposed to be in his room, what's he doing wandering in the basement?"
Yeah, they thought he got out again after he just got put back.
There was no other patients near Harold. There was no one else at all.
Well, they got to keep Harold by himself. Okay. He looks like he could be something.
The entire hospital, even when you walk down the hallways, extremely cool. Now, this is a mental hospital where this guy is escaping. You're to tell me he's the only one because there's no noise. No, you don't see another patient. You don't see doctors. Like it almost feels like it's a deserted hospital.
Yeah, with 3 people. No, so how about we didn't even talk about it. So this is 3 years afterwards, okay? So for 3 years, Lori's been spinning her pills into her Raggedy Ann doll and preparing for Michael. And we just happen to show up, like watching the night he shows out because she looks out her window and he's peeping. He's there looking. There.
He peeps a few times in this movie. He's a peeper.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
But isn't Lori considered a murderer? I mean, she in this world, she killed a guy who had 3 children.
That. When the nurse says that, it's like, oh my God, that's so horrible. And then she just shouts out, yeah, father of 3. Like, what? Like, oh, that's so horrible.
But Shane, we talked about this many times. If you murder a murderer or a supposed murderer.
But he wasn't a murderer. But he wasn't a murderer. That's the thing.
But that's the chance you got to take.
Oh, okay. You know what it is? I don't know the laws.
And then those kids get the Michael Myers Survivor Scholarship and, help them out.
So it's worth it. So then it's worth it.
Free lunch in school.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right.
A Coke and a smile. Something like that.
All right. I get it.
Make them feel good. But no, so then we get, so there's 2. So I think it's pretty cool that even though Brad didn't play Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, there's 2 actors in this movie. I don't know if you recognize them that were in Freddy vs. Jason like just a few years later. So it's like Ronnie Yu or the casting director was like picking the people from this movie. But the cop that yells at the fat cop is like, hey, if he's supposed to be in his room, what's he doing in the basement? And then they go down there. And that guy is the one that plays the kid's dad that gets decapitated on the porch in Freddy vs. Jason. But how about the fact that this guy, again, he's crazy, right? He's in the basement and you're going to let your boss that suppose you didn't do your job right, I'm going to stop and get a snack?
Well,
listen, he skipped dinner. What was he supposed to do?
In these movies, you have the morgue guy and the security guards always eating something crappy. Always.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like that's like a staple.
they probably hate these movies. Morgue people and
But the one thing
and
that I want,
security guards hate this stuff.
the one thing I want to say is when he goes, Harold, what are you doing? What's gotten into you? Don't you realize that it's not the same person? Like Harold's like a fat, schlubby like guy, and Michael Myers is like an NBA like power forward. Like what? Like you could honestly tell easily. Be like, wait a minute, this is not the same guy. And what are you doing with that large butcher knife? Like,
Well, I don't know what's worse, that or the fact that the fat security guard, when he hears he goes in there, and there's a lot of rules that I follow in life, but I'll never enter a room where there's a swinging like a lamp. There's a swinging chandelier. I'm not going in it.
Wait, so if there's a chandelier swinging, you're not going to enter it?
Like that? No, that means something bad just happened. And
A
how
dark
does that even
hallway,
happen?
yeah.
Maybe someone hit their head on it.
That's a pretty serious hit.
that sounds like their problem.
Jeez. Don't
How do you think
worry.
that happened? Do you think that security guard walked up and Michael came at him and he
No, but how about maybe there's other tall patients that are out there that have walked out of their room? You think this fat guy is the only patient that leaves?
But
Well, you
listen,
said it. You made it sound like he's the only one there.
Well, he's the only one on that floor, but what?
I'm just going to say, though, for the amount of time that it took, Michael is very efficient with what he can do. Because it looked like that vending machine was right around the corner from where that hallway was.
He's very crafty, Michael Myers. I mean, and
very
again,
crafty.
He's
strong.
Yeah, well, that's the obvious. He's definitely strong, but he should have the mentality of a child, right? I mean, I think we discussed this many times, but he's like almost like super smart for a zombie serial killer because he's very crafty with a lot of things he does,
And he can drive.
and he always but he always has time to do like hide dead bodies in a quick, because he literally hid that body in the laundry room pretty quick, like, or the head. And I mean, I don't know if they use quarters there. Did he have quarters? Does he walk around quarters to start
jingling? You hear that's how you know Michael's around, not like Jason's.
He's going through his pockets trying to find like 45, like 50 cents.
Yeah. Arcade,
yeah.
man. He loves arcade. Loves pinball.
And,
Fun
and
fact about Michael Myers.
from the way that the one security guard comes in, it's almost like he had to step over the man's head, like the security guard's headless corpse, to get to the.
It was literally
to get to
sitting.
the-
It was laying right there. I mean, it's impossible.
He's like, "Oh, sorry, I gotta step over you real quick to get to the laundry machine." Oh
Was
my
he-
God, there's a head in here. Oh God.
Was he eating his snack at the same time though? Was he still eating his snack? Because he might have been just paying attention to his snack.
He kind of stopped once he walked in and saw the swinging light.
And he saw the swinging light. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made him look inside the dryer?
I guess because it was randomly running.
'Cause it
and
was
that
going,
maybe never
yeah.
runs. Maybe it's a broken one.
So
And Michael,
so he was
And they're
able-
like-
So wait, Michael Myers is able to hotwire the dryer?
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
he's like, "Wait, it's Thursday. It's not laundry day today for our 3 patients."
He's crafty.
Man,
He's
just that,
fast.
So he does that, and then we talked about the way he
And
ascends down from the
And
metal.
how the
wall.
hell did he get up there?
Okay, wait a second. Back up a second. Why is there clothes in the dryer? If the dryer is not supposed to be run, there's clothes because it wasn't just the head. He couldn't find the head right away. It was clothes in there. So why are there clothes in there? And why was so that's part of it. So just put it
Michael
there.
brought him. Maybe it was laundry day.
So
It
okay,
was-
okay. So after he kills him, somehow he climbs up into the ceiling.
See, I don't know where he was because he came down
He did.
on that.
And how high is that ceiling? Like it.
It's like
Big.
12 feet up.
And why is there like beams just sitting right there that he can hold on to? It's a laundry room. Like like it was almost like he was
Fred,
hanging
why are
out
you
like
installing
an
that?
attic.
You never know when somebody's gonna. Yeah, no, exactly.
And like literally, he does it so slow.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to show up how he could do like pull-ups. Like he's like going down real slow, one arm. Like, and why one arm?
Well, wait to the one in a few minutes.
Because he can. That's why he did it. Because he can. He's showing off for the ladies.
Okay.
What if like Michael like could talk and he was just like flirting with the girls?
Well, don't they have like those dating shows where like they wear a mask and they have to date him based on their personality?
Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah, oh, Netflix. Yeah.
So maybe you know what? He would be perfect. Like someone should come out there like a Michael Myers.
Yeah, some people might like that. You never know.
So then we get so then he walks through. You get Harold, who's like worshiping some killer for the day, Gacy, and he looks over and kind of sees Michael. Michael goes in, dude. So this is, again, a lot of times we cover movies, especially I would say more 90s and 2000s. Like the 80s shot a certain way, 70s like had what they had film, you know. But there was like these camera tricks that they did, and everybody probably thought, man, this is gonna look good in 20 years. Because when he barrels through, they do like that quick fast forward in this movie, which I don't know why. But when he goes through that door, he should have just like went through the door, but they had like a fast forward to make it look so like cheesy and fake.
Well, according to physics, that's not possible. With the speed that he was going and the weight of that door, there was no way that he can burst through that. Like,
yeah, but he's also lifting every single person up by their head and holding them up, so he's pretty strong. But so does Michael Myers in all his movies? Does he have like what's his like purpose of killing people? Obviously, he wants to kill Laurie, right? So, I'm assuming he kills people that are connected to Laurie, or he tries to. Like, is that part of like
what's in the way? No, whoever's in his way.
Okay,
that's what it is.
So, why is he killing people out? No one really was in his way at the hospital.
He went out of his way.
He
to
would
kill
think
them.
they would stop.
That's what I'm saying. So,
he would think that they would stop them. They would stop him from doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, but they probably thought he was an old patient.
Sister.
They didn't think anything. No, this is after. I'm talking about after. Like why is he killing at this point?
Oh, they're in his house.
No, even before the security guards. Like why?
When you're good at something,
well, they're there. Yeah, he didn't kill Laurie yet.
Did he kill Gacy?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't kill Gacy.
Okay, I forgot.
No, what does he do to
he gives him a present too.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He gives him a gift.
So then after this, they don't say Michael Myers did it because I don't know if Michael's smart enough to rip all the cameras, but they probably thought it was Harold. That's why I think he did that.
He should have given them the mask. He should have given them the mask.
He's not around him.
That's what I'm saying. The switcheroo. Like, hey, like you give me mine, I'll give you yours.
It's kind of hard. I mean, he's built like the guy from Dream Team. The fat guy from Dream Team.
Flounder?
Flounder, yeah.
I love that you mentioned the fat guy from Dream Team rather than Flounder from Animal House.
From Animal House.
Awesome movies. But no, so let's talk about the scene on the roof. So again, he busts through the door, which like Nick said, physics, not possible. Goes through, and then Laurie's hiding in a closet with a lamp. Yes.
Yeah, smacks him on the head. Oh, go ahead. Are we on the roof yet?
No, we're about to be there. So then she's walking again. Michael never runs. I know none of the people run, but he's like the one I would think could run.
Why?
I don't know. He just seems like he's in better shape.
Why? He looks more human than Jason?
Yeah, well, Jason's deteriorating. He's a zombie for the last 3-4 movies. So yeah, I would think that he wouldn't be able to move as well. And again, I don't want to talk too much like Jason. We'll cover him in two sequels.
But in reality, again, the only reason you're saying that is because his outfit and his mask don't have any dirt or blood on it whatsoever. So he looks like he's fresh and young, when in reality, he should be the same age as Laurie. And, I mean, how many years did this happen from the first Halloween?
From the first Halloween? This is,
and I don't mean, no,
25 years.
Okay, 25 years. So, and in the first Halloween, how old was Laurie? Was she in school? She's
18, and he was 6 when he, right?
Oh, okay.
He was 6.
I thought he was 6 when he killed his sister,
or 8. He was young. He was like 8 or 9.
Yeah, 8 or 9.
Oh, he was that much different than his sister. Whoa, parents had
so he's 8 years old.
Had a late baby.
Because Harold starts spitting out his statistics over here, like Michael Myers born 1957.
This is the only movie that established a birthday, October 19th, 1957. So if you go by that, in this movie, he's 45. Still
okay. Young.
Yeah. You mean you can still be in sports or something?
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Okay, but still super clean. Like, do you think he showers with the mask and his outfit on? Like
that's why he's so white. That's why he's so clean.
How like do you think he after he's done a day of killing, like does he when he goes to his house, do you think he like sleeps in it and like he doesn't never takes his clothes off or his mask? Like that's how he lives all the time?
Obviously he's doing laundry, so
Is he? But is he, or is he just showering in it?
We've
Like he's washing his face with the mask on, and
The zipper's broken. He can't get off the mechanic thing. So yeah, he just does that and then just stands in the sun for a few hours. That's why he's always standing outside.
Okay.
just
drying
chilling.
off.
Yeah.
Now is he a zombie like Jason? Like, do we know that?
No, he's
he's
never
a-
officially dead really in any of the movies. He gets shot a bunch of times and stabbed, but he's never like, never really like any serious, like he never gets a machete to the head like Jason does.
So it's pretty amazing that he stays the exact same shape for 25 years. That without eating. Okay.
He is the shape.
Well, no, what are you talking about? He eats rats. We saw his little room. He has rats that are still alive and moving on the stove.
That poor rat.
He did? When did he have a rat?
Well, that's what they're there for. What do you mean? They showed him. They showed his little room underneath.
Yeah.
in the
They
caves.
planted everything.
They didn't plant.
No,
that was real.
not that. Not that. When young Julianne Moore goes downstairs, ooh, that was lunch.
Okay. I don't know about that, but all right.
Oh, Nick. Okay,
But-
Nick, put your shirt back on. But so no, let's get to the roof. So on the roof, she like gets him to run up there. Well, he's walking, she is running, and the fact that she is hiding behind the door. There's some really weird edits in the movie because the door like starts to close, and then they do another cut, and then it's starting to close once again, and then she says, "Hey, Michael," and she has this trap set up for 3 years. Is this set up for 3 years? Because nobody else goes to the roof and accidentally steps in this. What are they? Sling traps or something?
Wouldn't you
She
think?
literally got that from watching Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. That literally is a Wile E. Coyote. Well,
But what
almost.
do you think there'd be cameras up there? Like, you're gonna tell me now? She's been there a couple of years. No one's seen her move. They think she sits in that chair all day long.
Listen.
Yes. How'd she get out?
And
They see Harold everywhere in the building.
Listen, there were budget cuts and some things needed to go, and the cameras on the roof were just
So
happening
something
one of
needed to
those
go,
things.
which meant that all the doctors, because there wasn't one doctor there, right?
Nope.
They had the
Yeah, there was
two security
Two
guards
nurses.
and an orderly.
Two nurses.
Yeah.
One
No,
nurse.
but I
and
don't
an
understand
intern.
the fact that I get the trauma that she had from killing the wrong person. So she's thinking about that guy and his family. But the fact that she has him right where she wants him.
She knows that that's
she
the guy.
No, she knows that that's the guy, but she also knows that you can murder him and then check afterwards. Like, there's someone attempting to kill you. It doesn't really matter who it is. Like, maybe she felt bad with the other one because it could have been like, oh, this guy just had the mask on him and I did this. But with this guy's trying to kill you, so you know that you have to do this. But now let me check and get really close to him while holding this knife.
Well, I could just imagine that one nurse coming in every day being like, "What was it like killing a father of 3? Like how was that?" And then every day she's just hearing that over and over and over again. So well, just like, I can't have that.
There's a big question that we kind of dismissed, but how does Michael Myers know she's there?
Oh, he knows. Like in H2O, he breaks into a nurse's house, goes through all of her paperwork to find. Where
Wait,
Laurie
you
Strode
see
is.
him go through the paperwork?
No, you see the missing folder. You see the missing folder from Loomis's because the nurse is Loomis. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
the nurse-
Loomis's nurse from
Nurse.
'78.
Okay,
and then
see-
she's somehow alive in the new.
this is
reboot.
why I really don't like this series, and this is why I haven't watched most of them. Because at least with Jason, he's a zombie, right? If you can accept the fact that he's a zombie, then there's no rules,
Well,
right? You can.
When does he start becoming a zombie though? Because in
6.
Wow, it took 6 movies. No, wait, but he's not in which one? He's not in one of them.
Five.
Right?
He's not at 5.
5.
So,
Okay.
so I mean, so if you could, you
Jesus.
can accept the zombie. I mean, again, once that happens, there's no rules, right? But for Michael Myers to be human, I guess, he's way too crafty for all this stuff because he's got the child mentality. So how does he know to search, to find her, to look? Like, I don't know. It makes the series to me dumb.
Yeah, no, that is like it would be more like just the killing because that's what you watch Jason for. Like that's what he. Yeah.
Wait, that's the only reason why you watch Jason. You don't
Wait,
watch it for
you
like
watch this for the killing?
you
For
don't
the boobs,
You don't watch it for the
yeah.
camp fun.
Yeah.
The fun, yeah. So no, back to the roof. So she goes to grab the mask, and then he pulls her in, stabs her, and then they both flip over, Okay. And
Yeah.
then she thinks, what should I do to my brother? I'm going to kiss him on the lips.
Well, okay. So let's talk about that real quick. When they show him, he's holding himself up by pinching his thumb and his index finger together. Like those three fingers are not connected. He's holding himself up like this.
But
Strong.
He's super strong.
And he gets kissed by sister. Well, so when do you find out that she's her sister? Because I didn't realize that. I was like, wait, why did he kiss her? Why did she kiss him?
But you just realized that? What do you mean?
I didn't know that Laurie Strode was Michael Myers' sister. I must have missed that episode.
Isn't that
episode?
Isn't it like in the first movie?
They say it in every movie.
No, wait. I thought she was just a babysitter.
No, she was a baby in a crib in 1965 when he killed everyone in the house.
Oh my goodness!
And he didn't kill
Wait,
her, and then he wanted to go back and.
Wait, who does he? But he doesn't kill everyone in the house. He just kills his sister. In the first one?
No, in that first, they changed the lore of it, but he kills his sister in the first one. Yeah.
By the way,
is the parent?
I was going to say that. By the way, we're about a half hour in, and we're only 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
This might be a record tonight.
So she kisses him. He stabs her a few times. Then she drops off in the bushes, and then she's done. And then this is when we just talked about when you get what's his name, Harold, reading it like it's the back of a baseball card because he's like going over all of his stats and then the weird edits in this movie. I think we experienced this in Extras too. In this one, why are we watching him walk down the hallway after Harold's done talking?
And the bad
for an
voiceover.
Extra 5 seconds.
His voice is not moving when he's saying the last few lines when he's like he killed 3 nurses and a paramedic.
Well, I think it's like the equivalent of like a Nicolas Cage walking away from an explosion.
And I think
in slow motion. I think it's like the same kind of thing where you know what, Michael Myers he completed his task finally, and he's walking off into the sunset.
Yeah, it's good for an end of a movie. But not for walking into a title screen, and then we finally get to the movie. But that opening scene is pretty long. I feel like it's almost 15-20 minutes before we meet the people that we're gonna be around for the rest of the movie. Cool cameo, Rick Rosenthal, the director. It plays the professor in that scene.
You mean the professor where every single student is sleeping?
Yes.
Everyone,
except for the one girl.
There's 25 kids in the class, and 10 out of those 25 are passed out on the desks.
And the fact that he's like still talking and he's still teaching as every student is sleeping,
except for the main girl who's paying full attention. She's so fascinated. Everyone else is just like,
clearly this professor can give a crap.
Yeah.
So we meet Sarah. Who is an actress who's really been in a lot. So fun thing about her, she can't scream. All of her screams in this movie are dubbed over. So it's kind of hilarious when she screams and Busta's like, oh man, she's going to scream queen. And it's like, that didn't really even happen right there because it was a dub over from that. But I always think it's so funny, these like choices that people give for characters. Like, why does she have to have a moped?
And she's driving it like down the hallway, like outdoor hallway area, like where people are walking. That's where she's driving it through. I have to be honest. I didn't like any of these characters. The rest of the movie, there's not one, including Busta Rhymes, including Tyra Banks. I didn't like any of these characters. The rest of the movie.
These people were so despicable. I was rooting for Michael Myers. I was like, you go, Mike. Like, you go, get him.
To me, outside of the first scene, the rest of the movie is garbage.
Well, there's
this is going to be a fun
things to discuss. Yeah, no, there's still some fun things to discuss. How about like at this school?
So wait, so you didn't like Courtney Love?
Courtney Love
was great in this movie.
Who's Courtney Love?
I guess she sort of looks like her.
What, the moped girl?
No, her
that
friend.
was Sarah. No, her friend.
Jen was definitely Courtney Love.
Yeah.
Except for the thing she does with her tongue, which is really weird. Like,
I didn't like any. I really didn't. I feel like they were all trying to be they had every single personality, and they all were like trying too hard to be that personality. Even the two freshmen looked like they were in middle school going to a college freshman part, like a college party. Like it just and the costumes were like we'll get there, but I just can't.
Not to backtrack, but can we just talk about the title sequence real quick, where it says special?
But you are
appearance?
backtracking.
I am backtracking. Call me out, Doug. All right, it's all right.
What did it say? Special appearance by what?
Appearance by Sean Patrick Thomas, but he's just a cast member. He's in the movie. It's not like he's like made an appearance. It says special appearance by Sean Patrick Thomas.
His agent got him that. It's
he's
like
a member in the.
Who reads the credits?
I mean, it was in the movie.
They showed it to us.
Okay, that's when you go on your phone, go to the bathroom, get a drink. Like, who pays? It's like
I focus.
I was drinking. I was drinking before that, and during, and after, and much after.
I don't think I pay attention to credits ever. That's my time to do whatever I want.
I just found it so weird though, because it says special appearance, and I'm like, oh, he's only going to be in the movie for like 5 minutes. No, he's a cast member in the movie. Like he's in there. So their special appearance is because he's a character in the movie. I just thought that was funny.
So then we get to so no, he's Rudy. And the funny thing about the school is obviously we have the kids not paying attention in class, but how about like the culinary class that he's in, that everybody, they're just about to be able to walk in. He's like cutting up, and like, I'm like, what is happening? And I hate it for him. I think so many people in horror movies, they always have like the stoner is just stoner, but that's kind of funny. But the guy that's obsessed with cooking and healthy food, the lines that he has later in the movie when he's going one-on-one with Michael are some of the corniest lines.
First of all, that was a classroom. I thought he was like cooking like in the lunchroom. I thought he was like working in a lunchroom. I don't think it was a classroom.
I would have loved.
I would have given.
But
I would have given.
What?
I would have given anything for Gordon Ramsay to come up behind him and just like, what are you doing? What are you?
No, but I said the same thing, Doug. I'm like, you're going to tell me, because I thought it was a lunchroom, anybody could just walk out in there, sanitary, no one like that there, and she's picking food out and eating it. She is, yeah. So that's okay. That's not frowned upon.
I was going to say Courtney Love is definitely not sanitary, because she comes in, she's like, I'm sorry, I am distracting. And just her facial expressions just irked me so bad.
She was trying to play like the hot one. And that's
no,
she wasn't attractive.
She failed.
It was just that she was
hard
trying.
Well, it's all of them. Look at the tough guy with the leather jacket. I mean, he was like, they all.
So, okay. You mean creepy Casey Affleck?
I don't know.
I was going to say, if you close your eyes when you listen to him, it could have been like Stephen Wright's brother.
Yeah,
it sounded like I spilled spot remover on my dog.
But he looks like a loser. I just like they tried so hard each to have every personality, and it's like again, it's to me, it's like it felt forced. Like they had to do this, and the main character to me was boring. Like I don't think she was. Yeah, she was very boring.
Yeah, they try to just like most Final Girls. They're somehow damaged, like. Lisa Wilcox, Alice Johnson. But with her, it wasn't just like there was no damage to her, just that she didn't want to do something, and then she decided to do something.
Is there a horror movie that there's a guy left and not a female?
Oh, yeah. Well, in 2 weeks, part 7, Friday the 13th. Yeah, the guy left there. House on Haunted Hill.
Okay. Because I just feel like it's definitely like somehow females are always.
In this movie?
No, well. That doesn't count.
That breaks the horror rules, so we'll get into that.
Well, not really.
Not
rules. Really, because the other one.
No. I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that the black guys get killed every movie. No, I'm saying the fact that usually somebody that is putting people in harm's way. Because that's what he was doing, like his Dangertainment, which we'll get into in a few minutes, because that's what all these kids want to be in. They want to spend a night in Michael Myers' house for what was in at the time. I guarantee when they wrote this movie, I don't think Survivor was even on yet. Before the movie came out, Survivor was on, reality shows were on. But I'm sure when they started this script, that was an element that must have been added, because Survivor didn't start until 2001. This movie was supposed to come out in 2001. So it must have been shoehorned in at the last minute, this whole idea.
Well, you also had like, the real world. You had, so it's like, that's to me, so they had the real world, was been around forever.
Yeah, I guess he could have done that.
Yeah, so and they had cameras everywhere. So
was Fear out yet? Remember that show Fear on MTV? That was basically like that. They put people in like haunted.
No, that wasn't.
No? All right.
I don't think that was out yet. That was probably right after this. But no, just the idea of it. So the one thing that, again, when movies try something that's in at the time, they tried something that it does kind of look cool, and it's cool in the behind the scenes of this movie that you can actually, like, they filmed the movie with them with the cameras on and edit it so it was a real movie. Like, it's like an hour and 15 minutes, and it was just like a cool concept that just didn't work. I don't know if it would work with any other slashers, like if they did that with a Jason movie or something. Could that have worked?
Well, I think part of it is like nothing goes on in the house until like the last 5 minutes. Like for the I mean,
no, I was gonna say the house that's not big. I can hear in my house, like if my daughter gets up and makes a sound, the fact that no one hears anything ever.
And I mean, okay, first of all, we're talking about this company, so like the company, it seems that it's basically just owned by Busta Rhymes and what's her name? Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks.
That's it. So they somehow are able to go to Michael Myers' house, which has been abandoned, which I'm assuming that, and just set up everything. And this is their own company. Like, and they're the only two people that work for this company, and
Dangertainment.
And they have a big show on TV or internet.
And they hold their party at a like pay by the hour motel, like cafeteria. Like, is any
so shady, But yeah, and so
she rides her moped into that motel, that like little motel place. I'm like, where is she going? I'm like, oh, she's going to the release party.
Yeah, it just.
Okay. Well, no, the second time when we see her drive the moped is when she goes back to visit Busta's room, which I don't know how she would know where his room is.
That was fun. That was funny.
I don't want to do it. Yeah,
I could watch Busta Rhymes watching TV like for hours. Watch Chun-Li.
Wait, you can watch Busta Rhymes watch a TV for hours?
Did you hear his commentary? Watch Chun-Li whooping ass with a cigar in his mouth. Oh man!
I don't know. I couldn't even understand him half the time when he was wearing a mask. Like, it was like so muffled under there. It was like ridiculous. So
which is crazy because
that's the best scene in the movie.
I'm sure that was ADR'd. So the fact that it should have been ADR'd maybe.
Right. No, 100% because it was muffled. It was definitely muffled.
I know.
So all right. So go ahead.
Oh man. So we get, obviously they all meet in the Dangertainment thing, but when the friend, I'll go with Nick's thing because I forget her character name, not Courtney Love. When they're in the room
her
just
name's
talking. Jen. Okay. So when Jen and Sarah are in the room talking, and you have the very creepy guy walk into the room.
Wait. Like, when you say creepy guy, that's every guy in this movie.
No, but yeah. Oh,
I know.
But like,
I mean Casey Affleck. Yeah. Casey Affleck.
But what? No, not Casey Affleck. The one that walked.
You mean Rookie of the Year?
I was hoping that you had that clip because what is he doing in that clip?
No, not Henry Rowengartner. No, I'm talking about when the skinny kid.
Yeah, I know.
That looks like.
Yeah. He just walks in, and then he makes a noise when he leaves. Like, what was that?
No. Wait, you skipped over a big part. He's smelling the panties that are hanging on.
That's
like
disgusting.
a panty carousel.
That's disgusting.
Okay,
is that a thing?
Wait. First of all, you're in college. You're just hanging your panties right there by the front door. I don't think so. That's first of all.
I am never sending my kids to Haddonfield University. That's the last place they're going. I'd rather send them to Rutgers. Fuck that.
But I mean, so I did say the same thing. Like her panties were literally drying on a drying rack right in front of the front door.
Yeah, why? You could put it anywhere else, don't you? I guess you have a bathroom there, right, or something.
Well, it might be in the hallway. No, it could be in the hallway, the bathroom. Like, I didn't have a bathroom.
Wait, in the hallway?
So what's the point in hanging them? Well, they're not like wet from you drying.
First of all, and they're not that big, so I would assume they would dry pretty quick, right? I mean, you would think.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so yeah. So why do you need a drying rack for your for panties in the first place?
Or are we totally off because we're men and we don't have those? Like we don't have a boxer rack, or we have tie racks. Is that what it is? We're not even thinking about drying. It's just, I have a panty rack because it's just convenient.
Wait, so you think instead of putting it in a drawer, she's just hanging out?
I think so.
No, I think she's drying it. Because I mean, do they shrink? Like, is she afraid they're going to shrink?
Maybe.
Man,
Well, maybe that's how thongs are made. Like they start off as panties, and then they shrink in the back, and that's a thong.
Look at that, and you leave them in the sun, and you leave them to dry out, and then that's what happens. But the fact that the guy sniffed that and nothing,
disgusting.
Okay,
nothing to that guy.
But if you're going to sniff it, okay. I mean, and there are people that do that. I mean, people sell their.
Are they sniffing tips right now?
No, I'm just. No.
Okay.
This is more like secrets. Like if you're that kind of person that needs to sniff it, would you do it right in front of them? Like, wouldn't you wait until like
that guy would?
Well, clearly he would. He did. But I'm just saying, like, like that's kind of nervy to do it right in front of them.
Or you do the, oh my God, look at that out the window, and then grab one and do it at your own leisure.
Correct. And no, I'm sure that's not their first interaction with that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like they know he's a creep. Why would you leave your underwear right there?
To be fair,
he's gonna pop
correct.
To be fair, he looks like he could be like the guy that lives next door to Harold. That's like, honestly.
Yeah, he was really weird. He was
a weird looking dude,
creepy guy in so many different.
Okay, so what was that
movies?
scream he did at the end? Like, what was that? Like,
I don't know.
So I put the subtitles on for that, and he's saying "ma," M-A. I don't get it. Ma. And I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe the panties remind him of his mom.
I did like
my mom had a drying rack,
and I used to sniff her panties all the time.
I did like after that though when she's like, he's just trying to scare us, and Sarah goes, I just got to write a quick email. Turns to her iBook, and I'm just like, yes, the iBook. I love that.
Well, at this point, the main character, I felt like there was some kind of connection with Laurie or Michael Myers. The way she like just was afraid, or she didn't want to do this, or every time Michael Myers, like she was very jumpy, like she jumped at one time, and like so they made it look like there was some kind of connection, which there was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing.
There were a couple times when she got jumpy, and it was shocking, the response.
Well, there was a few of them got jumpy.
Yeah, and we get her chatting with a child. A freshman in high school,
which he looks like he's in middle school. First of all, both his friend looks even more younger. But what's his name? Daryl? Deckard. So you're gonna try to woo this girl on the internet, and you're like, you know what? What's a cool name that I'm gonna Deckard.
Hopefully she's a Blade Runner.
Heard of that name?
Never heard of the name.
Blade Runner.
Oh, that's so
that was
right.
That was Harrison Ford's. Well, he's like, hopefully she's a Ridley Scott fan.
Okay, but doesn't that take place in the future?
Yeah.
Okay, so before the future, have you ever met a Deckard?
No.
Or come close to a Deckard, or seen a Deckard?
I've been on a deck before. That's the closest I've come to a
Brooklyn Deckard. Decker? Okay, that was close.
No dirt.
Okay,
it was close.
Dirt on it. But no, so then just to get to the Dangertainment, they have that big meeting. We see Henry Rowengartner. One thing that's funny is like timeline wise, like if he is in Rookie of the Year, he becomes a pitcher. Maybe a few years down the road, he gets into drugs, alcohol. He looks like that's who he could be in this movie. He looks terrible.
Oh.
Like whoever told him to look like that, like with his hair and
you know what?
Looks,
he's always American Pie to me. I see him as that role. So like seeing him here, it doesn't fit. Like he doesn't fit the role that he's playing. Like I feel like he doesn't.
Well, what does he remind you of? Another American Pie character. He's like Shermanator.
Oh, easily
in The Ladies' Man in Dorm Days 2.
Yeah,
he's playing a dick when he's a nice guy.
Or Stifler.
Well, wait, he's not really a nice guy because I spoke to him, and because we mentioned we name dropped what's his name,
Sadler.
And he responded. He goes, the only reason I'm responding to you is because of Sadler. And he goes, I'm a little busy right now. Reach out to me, like in a month or so. And then he's never answered me again. So
answer him tonight, and he'll love what we say about him.
All right.
We love you.
Well,
Thomas,
let's not get crazy.
All right, we like you a little bit. So then we get all these weird individual interviews, like, oh, why are you here? And they got like like
Courtney Love,
weird, like cringe. Like, why are we listening to? She talks about she wants to be an actress. I think everybody obviously wants to do that. That's why they're doing this reality show.
Well, she's an attention whore. I mean, so that's clearly the entire time.
Her weird reaction too. She answers it and then does like this weird laugh afterwards, and it's like, what is that?
Well, honestly, out of all the people that are on this show, to me, she's the one that really is the only one that fits into the mold of what they would want for that show, right? She's the one that's just, she's gonna try to be sexy. She's gonna try to do this. She's gonna try to she's out there. So I think she'd be the most interesting because no one else is interesting at all in this show. Like if you're watching this,
nobody else wants to be there.
No, they don't.
Wait, when they say we got picked, it was probably we were the only ones that signed up.
They don't seem excited. So why they sign up in the first place? Like it seemed like
I think the redhead was maybe excited, but no one else. Rudy seems like he didn't really want to do it. He was like sort of excited.
It's like they were saying they were the only ones that gave legitimate email addresses. That's basically what happened.
But again, I question, why would you sign up when you really don't want to do it in the first place? Because you think you're not going to be picked. So let's, whatever. I don't know. Or maybe Courtney Love put everybody's email in there and made them all do it.
I wouldn't put it past her. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past her.
So then
Courtney.
So then we get Miles. Miles is the Deckard's real name, and his buddy. How about his room? He has like the nerdiest room like imaginable, and he's talking to this girl like he's gonna score with. I don't even know how old those girls are. They sophomores in college or
they were freshmen?
They were freshmen in college. Because he was a freshman in high school.
Because when he talks about
he's a freshman in college.
No, he's a freshman in high school. Because he says,
he
says when they talk about the party that they're going to, he goes, freshmen never get invited to this party. Like we are the only two freshmen that ever got
freshmen. No, they're in college. They're freshmen. Right, he doesn't look it, but he's a freshman in college because freshmen don't get invited to these parties. I don't think he's talking about freshmen in high school getting invited to.
It wasn't a college party. It was at a kid's house whose parents were away. I don't think it was that.
Later on, when there's 100 kids in that living room looking at that computer, they all look like high school kids.
I don't know. I thought they were freshmen.
I'm gonna have to watch it again, but
don't do that.
I'm turning it back on right now.
Don't do that.
But no. So I love his buddy. That's why I thought they were freshmen in high school. This is like a huge opportunity to go to a big party, like for the first time. Because his buddy goes, "You could stay in your little dream world, or you can come to this party and walk like a man."
You know what? Maybe I was wrong. I thought they were freshmen in college.
Yeah, because I'm not saying it wouldn't be a big deal, like if they went to a party as a freshman in college, which still they could find other freshmen to party with. But I was just thinking it was such a big deal that there were a freshman in high school going to like a senior party.
Okay,
and I feel
like you're. Yeah.
And I feel like his friend too was talking about how he was talking with Sarah. He was like, "Oh, you're talking with like a college chick." It's like, "Oh man,
yeah." He says college chick.
All right.
So that wouldn't, because they seem like they're smart kids. But how about the one kid seems super nerdy, the buddy? He has a hot chick later in the movie.
He has two. Doesn't he have two? Didn't he have two on his arm at one point? Or no? I thought he had two. But he looks like he's in middle school, that kid. And I absolutely hated his costume. Because he looks
Jules?
He looks so ridiculous because he's so small. He's short and he's like so like young looking. It looked ridiculous.
And the fact that he went as Jules from Pulp Fiction was the best.
Well, that's what I mean. It just didn't. It just looks so stupid. I mean, I think it's a great idea to go as the two of them, but yeah,
I didn't recognize any of their costumes.
Oh no,
okay.
Out of the other people, the other costumes, I don't think there were anything that was like hip. It seemed like whatever was $20 at Party City or something. Like there was a pirate, there was a nurse, it was all that stuff. But one cool thing on IMDb, I don't think Rick Rosenthal or the writers of this movie did it as like an homage, but in 1995 when they did Halloween 6, they approached Tarantino to do it,
Oh,
that would have been that
He
would have
actually
been
pitched the
amazing.
movie. I don't know what it is, so I thought that was pretty funny that it's like a Tarantino themed costume that those like the two main
Maybe
kids
it was just an
scene.
homage to say, hey, you know,
Maybe something
had
like
to be
that.
something. But, don't forget. I mean, is it the same year Pulp Fiction came out? Like, is it right around there?
No,
Oh, okay.
like
Wait.
7 years later.
Oh, really?
Wait. When did Pulp Fiction come out? Like 92?
94, 95.
And when did they pitch the idea for Halloween?
Well, Halloween 6 came out around that same time,
Oh shit!
so maybe like around then.
Tarantino directing a Halloween movie would have been amazing.
Could have been, it would be cool to see a director like that direct a slasher. Maybe he'll do the 13th next year. We'll see.
Ooh.
So now we got Tyra. They're setting the cameras up. She's booty shaking. Peak Tyra Banks at this point.
See,
Peak.
so based on what you said before, Nick, I could see them in the credits saying special appearance by Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks,
Because the movie's halfway over at this point, and now you see Tyra Banks for a small. Again, she definitely has a small cameo. So I mean, she's not in there that long. Which I also don't understand why we didn't even see her kill, which was kind of.
Oh well, I have it.
Okay, because I was like, the rest of the movie, I'm like, isn't Tyra like watching? She's the worst TV watcher because she misses so much that goes on all the TVs in front of her. Like she's a bad security guard. Like,
listen,
every time she turns around, somehow Michael Myers knows that Tyra Banks is not looking and he can do what he's doing.
Listen, when you need a latte, you need a latte. All right.
Yeah, but Michael Myers' timing is impeccable. Like, literally, it's like the second she turns her head, he walks across screen. He stabs someone.
He's always good at doing that.
He's very good at
I
it.
can go seek, I bet.
But the fact that the video guy is like just backing up as somebody is holding a tripod with like a sharp knife at the end of it towards him, and he's just like,
well, you know what? That happens a few times in this movie. That I don't know. If I see a guy with a machete or whatever he's using, a cooking knife in front of me, I'm not just standing there in shock, walking backwards. I'm booking the hell out of there. No one does that in this movie. Everybody stares and watches Michael Myers walk slowly towards them until he kills them. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why do people do that?
he literally watches him put the tripod through his throat. Like he's like, oh no.
Do you think that's possible? Like putting a tripod leg through someone's throat like that?
Well, it is like that for outdoor tripods. They do have it so they stick in the ground.
He has it indoors,
sharpened,
but he has it indoors.
No, I know that, but he probably uses it for different things.
Why would he bring an outdoor? Why would he bring an outdoor tripod indoors?
It wasn't in the budget for Dangertainment. Busted needed to save money.
So
Freddy,
okay, so let me ask you:
maybe homage to Freddy Krueger.
If it is an outdoor tripod, how is he going to stick it into the ground?
Well, you don't stick it in the ground. It just stands up like a regular tripod. That part goes up.
But why would it be sharp then? Is it? I thought the outdoor one would go into the grass. Like,
it does go into the grass, but it recesses so you can hide it and use it in both scenarios.
Oh, no, it's not true.
And this was another thing on IMDb. They said that this was a kill that was done in like a slasher from like the 60s or 70s. But so real quick about Tyra, I would guess that she was only had to be on set a few days, because if you think about it, she films at the hotel and she films in that back room, and that's it.
A few days? I would think one day.
No, well, yeah, maybe one day.
One day. She barely has any lines. Like, it's like was this like the same time as Coyote Ugly? Like, I wonder if there's the same.
Oh, yeah, I forgot she was in that. Yeah,
right.
Time.
So I bet you that's just just to throw her face in there. Because I mean, I don't know.
Well, you mentioned she was in Higher Learning, so she was in probably
Higher
more
Learning.
than I even think about. Yeah,
but she had a very small role in this movie. So, like,
which is crazy.
I know, that's what I mean.
She's on the poster.
Well, so is Jamie.
She's on the poster.
Wait a second. So is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
we saw her kill. She had she had more screen time.
She's on the poster. She's in the movie 5. If you take her total screen time, it's probably 5 minutes.
Yeah,
probably.
Okay, that deserves
3.
No, Tyra is definitely more than 5 at least, because she's dancing and she's I don't know. It's close. It's definitely close, but 5 minutes get you on the poster.
A close up booty shot gets you on the poster.
Does Jamie Lee Curtis have top billing in this movie? I bet you she does. Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. She's in the movie 5 minutes, and
I know.
it's not even like a cameo. Like I know, like say Jack Nicholson didn't have a lot. Like they had said, like literally he has very short amount of time in Few Good Men. Like but he was a presence in every scene. But it was later on. Like she's literally in the movie the first 5 minutes. She's only in there for 5 minutes and then done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
She does have a small cameo in a newspaper clipping later on, but that's honestly about it.
I don't know if that counts.
Later on in what? In another movie or in this movie?
When young Julianne Moore discovers the basement, and she's like, oh, like she sees the newspaper clipping of Laurie.
Oh, you're talking about Laurie Strode. I think you meant Tyra Banks. I was like,
oh no, I was talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. My bad.
Michael spanking it to Victoria's Secret ads or something.
Listen, it gets lonely down there.
It must. There's an old bed and rats. That's all he has down there. So then when we get to Busta, we're finally at the house. Busta, his lines in this movie, just when I guarantee he had zero He has zero script in this movie.
Yeah,
it's all ad lib. Because his line when he talks about like when they asked him about Michael Myers, and he goes, "He's a mystery wrapped inside a riddle, wrapped inside an enigma."
Yep.
Did you just mouth the line, Miles?
I did. Yeah.
What? So?
Yeah. Oh, you did? Sorry.
It sounded like somebody crushed your larynx.
my larynx is crushed right now, and I only have
That's what it sounded like.
I have a steak knife attached to my hand, so I don't know what else to do. But.
So is there a behind the scenes story of why they thought Busta Rhymes would be great in this movie?
I would say LL did the last one, and they were like, "Oh, this is somebody from that from the entertainment world."
So rap is working for Halloween. So let's just keep doing rap stars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
DMX was busy that day, so
Chingy should have been in this.
DMX should have been in it.
So
he would have.
He was too busy making movies with Seagal.
Yo, I was gonna say Exit Wounds.
Ooh, Exit Wounds, great, underrated. That's the last Seagal movie theater movie,
and probably the last good movie he made.
Probably that is true. But so then we talked about like Rudy, like his character. It's like, okay, we're gonna put in whatever has to do with cooking. That's all you're gonna care about the whole movie. Because the first thing he does when he gets in the house, he goes, "Ah, man, I can't wait to check out the kitchen in this old house." And I'm like, this house is small. The kitchen is small. And he's like, whoa, look at all this stuff. And then the fact that he smells, this makes zero sense to me. As if Michael is living under in like the little tunnle. Who cares about the spices in the house? So I don't understand that.
So
he goes straight for the bay leaf, and he's like, smells fresh.
Okay. So this house is abandoned, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they're thrown into this house with no food.
No.
They're only supposed to survive
the night, right?
Okay. Yeah. If it's an abandoned house, there's no water. I mean, it looks like there's nothing there that they possibly can use for survival. Like
they can't even flush.
They can't
even pee or poop.
That's what I mean. Like they didn't give him anything. Like goes to live there for it's only supposed to be for one night.
They gave him a bong, so that's something.
They gave him a bong.
They did have a bong.
Well,
I don't know how they brought that in. Nobody had. Did they have bags and stuff?
Why? That's frowned upon. You're going to a murderer's house. A bong is frowned upon.
I wouldn't.
Okay, listen, this is run by two people. Like really, like you think they're real? There's no security there.
If I was staying in that house, I would need to be high for that.
Oh,
oh my god! And then we even get a survivor line right away because it's from what they're filming. Like, and she says to him, "You're this close to being voted off the island."
Yeah.
There's so many cringy lines in this movie, though. Like when he goes, "Hey, what time do your legs open?" and she gives him the finger, and he goes, "Oh, 1 o'clock."
Oh.
Like that's so gross.
So I want to go back to the kitchen again. So when he said he got excited about the kitchen, this is a house that's abandoned for how long? What is he getting excited about? Like, what does he think he's gonna find or cook in there for a house that's been abandoned? Because the whole house looks murky, dusty. Mm-hmm. Like why would he be excited about that?
Exactly.
He sees fresh.
It's his character. They had to like even how about when he's going one-on-one with Michael later in the movie, he goes, you need to do a lean diet. And I'm like, why are we doing this still?
Yeah.
Maybe they had to make him so excited about food because he does use paprika as a weapon later.
I know he does.
There's a whole knife rack. Never mind. We'll get to that.
That seemed to bother Michael Myers more than half the things that were going on.
Anything.
The paprika.
Yeah.
So I mean, so now you know if you're, it's forget like mace or anything. Paprika. Run around with paprika.
Just carry that around.
Carry paprika around. We'll have less crime out there.
Paprika, man. Buy paprika now, like on the stock market, because it's gonna go.
You watch, it's going to go up right.
It's going up.
Thank you, paprika.
Paprika sales have doubled in the last week. We don't know why or how, but they have.
Does anyone know what paprika is, though? I mean, I know it's orange, but did anyone know?
Hungarian paprika? Yeah, it's like a pepper spice.
Wait, it's Hungarian? How do you know that?
Because it's called Hungarian paprika. Well, there's a like.
I'm sure there's different types of paprika.
Listen, I know Hungarian paprika like I know Italian horror movies.
Welcome to Spice Talk.
Spice World. Spice World.
Back to the movie. So no, we talked about the costumes at the party. The one that was really funny to me was there was like a lot of people were dressed as football players at this Halloween party, and then two guys were dancing with each other. And then when they were done dancing, when they like faded into Deckard, Miles going into the room, they jump up and chest bump. Good dance, bro.
Now, you've been to a lot of high school parties, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of dancing at parties?
Oh,
sometimes
we have a dance room set up somewhere. Yeah.
All right, maybe it's a Jersey thing.
Got a bump and grind, man.
Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with
How
it.
you get it going?
I'm just asking because in New York, I'm from New York. We just did a lot of drinking.
We drank too. We drank too.
Okay.
We like to keep active over here.
All right.
So then we get again in the house. So Michael is at the house, and I have to mention this real quick. Every movie Michael drives, they must have cut the scene that he stole a car, but he did take a car in this movie because when Tyra is on the phone with Freddy, she's like, "Oh, there was some asshole in a Firebird that parked in front, but don't worry, I'm having them towed." So supposedly that means Michael stole that car because right after that, that's when he's
Why are you surprised at that? He drives in every movie.
I know he does. In H2O, you'll love in H2O what he does. He steals a car in H2O, trashes the car like he's never driven before.
A nice car, too.
He's only on roads. Yeah, a nice car.
Yeah.
Tires are all slashed. Like he ran into like a pit, and then he steals a lady's old ass car that looked like from the Munsters.
Why do you think they chose the name Freddy?
Oh, exactly, Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
But why would they? If like it's like it's their competing, franchise. Like, why would they? Was this close to Jason Goes to? Oh, this Jason. Duh. Never mind.
Oh no, no. But the same studios, right? Didn't Dimension do? No, New Line did. New Line.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, of all the names you can use, let's use either Freddy or Jason.
Yeah.
Like I would think you'd want to stay away from like those names. Just like, why would you want to remind someone that, oh, there's a better franchise out there?
And then we get so the kid that is throwing the party in the smoking jacket, that's the stoner from Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay. Interesting.
So they had like two people that they picked off from this cast.
Okay.
So man, so where are we at right now? I think we're at really like this is when they start picking off the kids in the house.
Well, the editing in this movie is so crazy.
Okay. So first of all,
it jumps so quick.
It does go back and forth. So I mean, you could either talk about the fact that this kid, Deckard, is able to find where the computer is, sign on with no password or anything else, and able to connect it to which looks like a huge TV screen instead of having a regular screen, and with ease, right? You got that part, and then you have them first before even Michael starts doing anything. They start finding a little clues like of Michael's past. They find a high chair, and they make a big deal about this high chair. Like, do you think he used that? Poor kid. It was a high chair. Like there was no torture.
No, there was cuffs on it. There was
No,
like
there wasn't.
chains on. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like straps and stuff. They said,
Okay,
oh
so-
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wait a
Do you
second.
think
That's
he
normal.
put
That's
them in
normal. If a baby's trying to get out, you got to strap him in.
You gotta handcuff.
Yeah,
your
I
kid.
mean, so that's not a big deal.
handcuff your kid, cage. Two things you need as a parent.
All right, I mean, it
No,
didn't
but,
look like it is a high chair though, so it didn't look like that crazy.
No, I know. They were trying to do this whole like Michael's a killer because not because he's just crazy, which
yeah.
was the audience wants. It's because his parents made him do it. It's like, why? We just want to watch him. That honestly, as a viewer of any slasher, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
If a guy shows up at a campsite, it doesn't have to be Jason. It could be a guy. Oh, he died in a car accident 2 years ago, and it was the kid's fault. Okay, just start killing. That's all we care about.
You don't care about
I
the
don't need any
backstory. I want if he's gonna be crazy enough to start killing, let's just watch him kill.
That's why
In
the first
movie,
one was
maybe
so
the
good.
first movie established. Yeah. No, you're right. But if it's a first movie, fine, establish something. But by the eighth movie, we don't need to change anything. It's
And if
already
you
like,
don't
we
know
have
by
everything.
now, you don't care to know.
And that's what makes it even scarier, not knowing. Like just thinking it's just some random thing. Like that's why the first one was. Well, I mean, Jamie, you might disagree, Jamie, but
I mean, you're throwing the word scary around there. I don't think there's anything scary. First of all, the reason why
randomness. That's
no. But the reason why it's not scary is because you always hear the music before he does anything.
that is true. Yeah.
So it gives you that warning. Like it's not like
It's
it's
like Jaws.
Yeah, right. So that's not scary to me. Like I'd
Jason
rather him
too. They go
right.
The
Jason's not scary either. You're watching him for the kills. You're not watching him for the jump scares, right? You're watching like, all right, what creative way is Michael going to kill this guy or Jason? It's not about the scares because I've watched now a bunch of Halloween movies. I don't think any of them are scary. Now, maybe the first one, the original one back in the day, probably scary because it's the first of its kind, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, they're not scary movies. It's just how are they going to kill?
I feel like it would be scarier if he didn't have the mask on. Like if you actually saw who it was, but that's just me.
No, then there's no mystery behind it. That's why if Jason was walking around looking like he does when his mask come off in some of the movies, I don't know if that'd be scary.
See, I think with Jason, when he had the sack on his head, that was way more scarier than having the hockey mask.
The potato sack?
Oh, yeah, definitely was. Yeah.
I don't know if it was a potato sack.
And
potato sack's pretty big.
He got a big head, though. I mean, you've seen
a mini potato sack. The little potatoes. Like those little potatoes.
Little spuds, little spuds. But that's what I feel like they really leaned into the jump scares in this one, though. Like there was even the high chair was a jump. They tried to make it into a jump scare, and I was like, why are they making that?
That was a jump scare. They opened the door and the high chair was there.
But the way it came out, though,
something falls out.
The mannequin.
Like
the mannequin. Oh. I was like, who owns this?
Pretending to scream in the room.
Bitch,
in order to.
You slut.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm hating the movie even more that you're saying there's jump scares. There wasn't one jump scare at all.
They tried to do jump scares.
Oh, forget it. All right.
Sorry, I wrote it. Sorry.
So at this point, everybody's like exploring the house. Busta goes back. He's hanging out with Nora, Tyra Banks. They're drinking wine. He's like, everything's great now. And this is the first kill in the movie. Was right. Well, not the first kill of the movie. First kill of these kids was Henry Rowengartner. Because he was like pissed at. Remember, he was telling Jen, "Do you want to be famous? Show your boob." And she showed
bad.
She pretty much
her bra, which is
it's pretty close.
Right,
that's good enough.
And you could kind of see it.
And Michael was peeping.
Oh, that's where that was the peeping scene. He was quiet.
He's peeping the whole movie.
Yeah,
he's walking in the hallways just past the door.
But that's like a peeper. Like I mean, she's showing her bra, so that's a peeping scene. But where are Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks?
In the garage.
Okay.
In the garage.
I didn't know where they were. I didn't realize where they were. Did the people living in a house or staying in the house, did they know they were in the garage?
I really don't think so because we find out exactly where they are, which is fun when we get to it in a little bit.
Okay.
Just the fact that they did cut like Nora's death scene and we didn't really see that because it kind of is silly what happens. But so then while they're hanging out, this is when they're not paying attention to this. Why have all those monitors if you're not paying attention at all? Because Henry Rowengartner disappears because he's looking in a mirror And where's Michael? Is he in the wall?
It's a two-way mirror.
It's his house. He knows all the secret passages.
I guess. But he punches through the mirror. He grabs him. He kills him. First one down. There's so many like quick, because that's what these movies do. When I noticed watching H2O last night, you really get to like 50 minutes, an hour in, and then everything happens like really quick. Because I think everybody dies, all the kids, within like 15, 20 minutes. And then it's like 25 minutes
of a chase, of the last person. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. 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 Because then we get all the weird things that they find in this house, because they had to add in like that he was a tortured kid. There's a hatch in the attic. Where would that go?
And
a hatch?
Wait,
going to where?
But okay.
Oh, that was in the attic?
No,
the one was in the attic where he found the key.
No, that's the basement.
I thought that was the basement.
Yeah. Why would it be the?
But they
went downstairs.
I don't know why, but
they walked downstairs
because
there was lights.
Creepy Casey Affleck and young Julianne Moore are like making out, and then he literally stops and goes, "Wait, hold on," and she's like, "Hold on," and he goes and gets the key from somehow it's attached. The high chair, yeah. Comes back and like opens the thing, and they're like, "Oh, like what's down here?" And it's like,
no, it was definitely it looked like it was in the kitchen, the hatch. Which why would there be a hatch in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Now,
I was just thinking, is there was so much light in the room that they were in? I know a basement.
So you can't have light in the basement?
Not a ton of light. It's a
why
it's a
is that
you might have like the top windows.
I'm in the basement right now and I have tons of light. What are you talking about?
Well, you don't have a ton of light. It's nighttime when we're recording.
So you never hear of light bulbs?
No, it wasn't light bulbs. It was coming from windows.
Well, you're talking about the light. I thought you were talking about the light in the basement.
No, I meant that's why I thought it was the attic, because I thought it looks like actual like sunlight. And it's not dark yet.
I wasn't paying attention that deep.
Well,
it feels like it got dark very quick in that house.
Gotta do that.
Wait, did they walk in during the day?
Yeah, they were outside and it was like midday.
The press, remember the press was all
so the first
and the tow truck takes the car away.
But when you're watching this as an audience, and I don't mean us, I'm talking about the people watching on the computer. There was absolutely nothing going on for the first, in general. Like if you talk about a half a day, because until nighttime, nothing really happens. Like,
it's like that's supposed to be like people that love watching Big Brother live feeds. I don't know what you're watching.
Well, they're watching the shower scenes and stuff.
And I totally forgot that Henry Rowengartner got a knife to the head.
Yes.
So that's how he died.
Yes.
That was a knife to the head. Yeah.
He's trying to fight him off. He's like, oh, no, stop.
Nothing. And then boom. And then the redhead girl gets super horny because as soon as Stephen Wright mentions that, hey, I bet there's no cameras down here, she's like, oh, yeah. And then his line to her, say something smart.
Well, she seemed like she hated him most of the movie.
The whole movie.
He was
He was so creepy.
They don't know each other.
Yeah.
To me, the only people that really know each other are the three, and then the other ones just met for the first time because Jim is hitting on her so hard. She's not into him at all.
Don't they all go to the same school?
No, I think some of them don't, because I don't think Jen knew that guy. No.
Because the guy talks
other universities.
Because the one she goes, oh, does that line work on like whatever? And he goes, yeah, sometimes art history too, and poli sci. So I think they're all college.
It could be. Yeah. You could still go to the same school and not know each other.
Yeah. No, I guess they could go. Yeah, that's true. I guess they could go to the same school.
All right.
And then she makes a diss about poli sci, right? Doesn't she say like, I really kill myself?
And no, she goes, oh, besides making out with a music major is tantamount to lesbianism, she says.
That's what she said.
And he goes, I can get into that. And I'm like,
okay, so
what?
You're in a murderer's house, a dusty, probably moldy smelling in the basement that's going to turn you on. Like, that's disgusting. And who knows what, like asbestos or anything else that's down there. Anything like, you know what? And,
And obviously,
and you're going down a hatch that could close, and you have the key, and it might only open for one side. So you can be sort of like locked there forever, especially in this house that people are getting killed, glasses breaking, and no one's even saying, "Did you hear that?" At least in Friday the 13th and some of the other ones when people like die, it's like, oh, "Did you just hear something?" It's like, "Oh no, I didn't hear anything. It must be a fan or something." Nothing like that.
Nothing.
But she gets boobs out.
Oh, Well, they had to find a way to do it. I just think like that basement was out of all the rooms in the house, that's where she chose. Like, you know what?
Nope.
Let's do it here. I mean, there were bedrooms,
No cameras.
They were wearing.
She didn't want to be on camera.
Oh, wait a second. No cameras. They're wearing cameras around their neck.
They're wearing cameras.
Okay, so when she said that
to her,
I know. So when she was saying that, I'm like, what do you mean no cameras? They both have a camera on them, and she strategically places it exactly where they are. So she didn't seem that worried.
You mean they? Oh, Broops.
She was with the guy.
Oh, where they are as.
Oh my! See, where are you thinking? Really? Like, okay, we know, Doug. Okay, now we know. Holy cow!
And then somehow they're making out, and the wall just on its own caves in, and then we find out it's Busta that set it up.
Okay,
and how do we find out? It says "Made in Taiwan"
okay.
in big letters on an arm.
But they weren't. Were they styrofoam wall or was it real concrete? Because if that was a real wall, it landed on them hard, like and her head. Like you would think, like there's gonna be some like injuries there. Or what?
That is true. I didn't. Think
I was thinking it might have been like just props, like because everything else was props. So I wasn't sure if it was props or not. But yeah.
And the whole time I was thinking, like, please put on your shirt. The first thing you should do, put on your shirt.
Well,
put on your shirt.
She literally is topless for a while, like just holding herself,
just standing there. I'm like,
yeah. Why wouldn't you like quickly get dressed at that point?
First thing I would do, just cover him up.
She was so horny. She's like, we can keep going.
I was gonna say maybe the wall crumbling got her more excited.
Yeah. But no, that whole, and then this is when from there, Jim leaves her.
Yeah.
And then she goes to venture off on her own. But before that, because Michael right now is still in the house, and this is where we get Michael following Michael. So we have two Michaels walking around in the house.
That was kind of I was a little confused on that part. That was a little weird.
This is my favorite scene in the movie. This is my favorite scene in the movie.
This is the most confusing scene because why is Michael not killing him?
Well, because he looks like him.
Why?
Because he looked like him.
You think he's like brother? Wait, Michael talk like that?
Okay, so hold on a second. So wait a second. So you think if you can hear Michael's voice, you think that's what he sounds like? Grover?
Lori?
So he sounds like Grover.
Yeah, he sounds like Michael Myers. Michael Myers.
Like Yoda?
You just made Michael Myers so not intimidating. That's what his voice is.
No, but I just get upset that
I know.
He does an H2O too. He plays you got to watch H2 because it's a good movie, but he does a scene with LL Cool J. He has him in like the security guard thing, and he's like just peeping, going from window to window, and you're like, why isn't he killing him? He's in his way.
Does LL Cool J know kung fu or karate?
He's not know kung fu.
Okay.
No.
All right.
He's not a Watch On Lee fan.
So maybe he knew that. Maybe that's why he didn't mess with him. But I love that he basically. There's a mouse in the studio right now. I see it. For anybody that's listening, and it just jumped from all my VHS tapes. For anybody listening, I won't edit this out.
Wait.
Michael Myers will call that lunch.
Mice know how to jump.
Yeah, it just jumped it through the wall where I have the air conditioner.
I never knew a mouse could jump. They got such short legs. Oh, okay.
It just ran from the VHS and jumped through it.
Oh, it's creepy.
So then I have to deal with that tomorrow. But no, so and Michael Myers will probably eat it. But so back to the movie. No, when Freddy's yelling at him, be like, because he thinks he's the cameraman, be like, "Yo, you're supposed to be in the back with Nora," and then he basically tells him Nora's by herself in the back, walking through the back of the house, and then we see Michael go, "I'm gonna go kill her." He basically just walks, "I'm gonna go kill her right now."
He said, "Thanks, Freddy. Appreciate it. I left the back door open for you."
See that? As an audience,
I agree.
That's what we should have saw in the next scene.
I agree, and I don't know why you didn't. That's like I don't know, because it made you forget about her.
Yeah.
I totally thought like, oh, she should be dying. I kept waiting for her scene to happen. I'm like, oh, maybe she left her.
Well, I at one point I'm like, maybe she's dating Michael Myers.
Maybe
and she set this whole thing up.
Oh my God!
And again,
Please tell me that deleted scene is when he comes in and she thinks he's Freddy. Is that the scene? And she's like, "Oh, baby, I've been waiting for you so bad." And Michael's just
I'll show that now really quick.
He's got a condom in one hand,
it's like
and
a
a knife
really
in the
quick,
other, and he
it's
goes,
not,
"What do I do?"
It's not edited. They didn't do anything to it, so it's like raw.
Oh, are you doing
footage?
It's raw.
Oh, that would be great if you hooked up with her.
No, I mean, he hooked up with Jamie Lee Curtis already, so
Halloween Resurrection. All right, yeah, it's not playing right now, but it might. It's not gonna play, but no. So in the scene, she's like looking. She's like near the TV, and she's looking forward, and you could tell it was only one cut. Like they didn't cut a bunch of stuff together. But she's looking forward. She's like, Freddy, what did I tell you about scaring me with that mask? And puts something around her neck, pulls her up, like we see her at the end of the movie. She's hanging, and then he stabs her a few times.
Did they say why they didn't include that? Like, do we know anything?
No, I didn't say why. They probably were just like, ooh, maybe the audience. Like, sometimes it would Friday 13th does, which I kind of like. You'll see Jason maybe lift the machete or go into somewhere, and then we see the aftermath later.
But I think the difference is this is Tyra Banks, right? It's not like a nobody. So like you want to see that kill. Like, you know what? I'd rather like see like the guy with the leather jacket. Like I don't care about him. But Tyra Banks, you want to see that kill. Like she's in a movie. So I think they kind of screwed that up. Like they definitely should have showed it.
Yeah,
100%. And then from there, again, to mention a million times, all these people like Busta's kind of yelling at this point, and what happens? No one in the house hears it. Like there's people not that far away, and he's like yelling, like, "You go back in the garage." Nothing happens.
Well, can we also? You have people now. You have a whole room of people watching these murders. Every single murder they're watching, and again, now there's cameras still at the house, but somehow Michael's able to murder everybody in front of a camera, like clearly. They think it's fake. Like they really think that people, except for Deckard, who says, "Oh no, they're real." But even he's think it's real, but he's still not doing anything about it. He's still watching.
No, I know.
Yeah, no.
The only thing they should have added into this movie, they should have been like, to make people think it's fake, would be like some kind of, again, exposition or some kind of like news coverage, or one of the reporters asking, like, maybe they stayed at. They wouldn't use Jason Voorhees, but some other famous serial killer's house or Gacy's house. And they could be like, oh, but remember with that, you got in trouble for faking a lot of the things that happened there. If they would have thrown that in, then it would have made sense that the audience watching, oh yeah, this could be fake because he did this once before. But there was nothing for all those college kids, the high school kids to think about. Nothing at all.
And you're going to tell me if you're watching a real murder, you can't tell if it's fake or real? Like, you know, like, I mean, so, well, and not for nothing, I don't think anyone screams while they're getting murdered in this movie. I think.
Oh, no, the girl does like.
Courtney Love does.
Maybe she screams loud? Because, I mean, it seemed like everybody, no one ran, like none of them ran away, and they all seemed like just quiet. Listen, I got a paper cut, I want to scream.
Courtney Love literally steps back so Michael Myers can stand in front of her to do what he needs to do. Sorry, are we not there yet? Okay, cool. All right.
No, we're not almost there. No, but Red, like, again, we don't have to talk about her kill too much because we mentioned that she like was the one that walked down the tunnel that they added into this movie for, I don't know, God knows why. The whole tunnel thing that his house is underneath, like this kind of.
Because she would do that by herself. So. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, she didn't seem like that kind of person. Like,
no one would be that kind of person. You're in by yourself. You're gonna walk down a creepy hidden tunnel. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's true. But the fact that she goes in there and then she sees him and then she briskly walks away, like speed walks away, and then for her kill, she's like kind of cornered, and then she just like, and Michael. The funny thing is, he has the knife out, and she walks backwards into the broken fence. Yeah. And it goes, and then he shoves her on. She's dead. And then that's like the first one that those kids actually see, right? That's when everybody's really gathered around.
But I feel like she almost did it herself. Like, I feel like Michael Myers he shouldn't get credit for that one. Like if
Take it away.
If you're counting points, like he loses points in that one. That wasn't
Take that one
wasn't his.
away.
Yeah. Michael, like when people leave a small town and they subtract when people leave. For this one, take it away. We don't need it. She spiked on it. And then now the kids are upstairs doing bong rips. You got Rudy and Jen are doing bong rips while Sarah is all by herself going through all the, and Michael is somehow that fast back in the house. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Because that's Freddy peeping in that room.
Freddy.
So he plays a good Michael because he's peeping in the room watching her.
But that gives Michael enough time to get up there.
Yeah.
To get back in the house. Yeah.
Unless there's maybe the
dumb
dumbwaiter in there and he jumps in a dumbwaiter and goes up.
There's a dumbwaiter in Halloween H2O.
Okay. In his house?
No, in the college or in the high school that Lori works at.
Have you ever seen a dumbwaiter? I've never seen a dumbwaiter in any house.
I have seen one, yeah, in a mansion I visited.
Sorry. I'm
mansion.
sorry. Doug. Okay.
Sequel money, baby.
I was going to say that sequel business is treating you good.
I'm not seeing any of it.
You can visit on the third Tuesday next year. But no, so then we get from there. Yeah, so Busted starts chasing Sarah. They get out of their stonedness, and then Jim grabs. I don't even know what he grabs. It was like a log.
He grabs someone and hits him, and he goes, "Oh, you hit me like I just fucked your mother."
Yes. What is that line?
Oh no! He's like, I fucking murdered your mother, or something like that. Some crazy.
No,
shit
I
like
think
that.
I think he said,
"Oh, really? Like that?"
My mother. That was his line, and I'm like, "What is that? Is that the first line to come in your head?" Be like, "Whoa, why'd you hit me?" Maybe that's it. Not. I have an anecdote to mention, or like a metaphor to throw out for this scenario, but no. And then the fact that he's like, turn your cameras off. Then he's like, hey, this is going to be fake. And then this is where it's like, okay, this sort of would make sense, but Jen's not down there. So that whole next sequence would make more sense if she was like, oh, it's just you, Freddy. But she has no idea that any of this just happened.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because she comes out of the room. So after this, they talk about it. They turn their cameras back on. All the kids at the party are like, oh, what's happening?
But don't they have other cameras around, though, also? So even if they're turning their own on, aren't there cameras set up inside the house?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. Because they can still hear. No, I know.
And not for nothing, like, they're seeing Michael Myers, they're watching this, but I would assume, being a major killer that he is, everybody knows that he had his head chopped off. No one seems to be questioning, like, what, didn't he die already? Like, how is he in there? Like, no one questioned. They're acting like, oh, Michael Myers just happened to be in there.
Yeah, that would have been on the news. That would have been covered.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Unless, no, I would. So I guess if they found at the scene that it was really the ambulance driver, would they announce that he's dead? I don't know what they would have done there, but that's neither. That makes no sense.
All right.
But so Jen, the funny thing about Jen, so she's super stoned. She somehow didn't hear all the screaming and stayed in the room. Her first thing when she comes out of there, if you're high, be like, hey, let me check the attic. She pulls it down. We see Henry Rowengartner dead. And then Michael comes out.
How does Michael Myers manage that? Like, he's in a house, like, so let alone that no one hears anything, but no one hears him. Like, it can't be like a 2-second thing. I mean, he's got to grab a body. He's got to find a rope. He's got to do this, pull it down. Like, no one hears any of that. And how long do you think it takes to rig up?
It's got to take time.
It got to take time.
It's got to be like a 10, 15-minute thing.
Easily.
And not even that. How do you get upstairs? Because they were down there talking in that stairwell, like just before the other thing happened. So unless he climbed the ladder or got in a different way. But anyway, she is standing there, like just looking at him like, oh my God. And then here's the correlation I was mentioning before. Like Jason Takes Manhattan is it's one of my favorite Friday the 13th because it's just, to me, fun and silly and like a lot of the kills in it. But it's funny, it's the 8th movie. And this is the only movie that you saw like him decapitate somebody, not like the opening scene, like you didn't see that. But just like in Jason Takes Manhattan with the punch on the roof. And one thing I gotta say is her head looked great. The head looked great when it hit the ground.
You see you see like the spine, like you see your spine, like as it's like the camera shows down. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
How does no one hear that? Like no one hears anything.
Well, they heard that.
Well, they heard her head bouncing down the freaking stairs.
No, they saw the head bouncing down the stairs. Oh, wait. And she's standing there watching it. Like at this point, you're still not running out of there. Like you see a head come down. Why are they still like hanging around? Like in slow motion. Yeah. I feel like everybody's in slow motion in this.
Yeah.
Well,
Shock.
yeah, they have nowhere to go because Freddy locked them in. He barricaded all the doors because they can't get out of any
Where
door.
is Freddy all this time? Because how big is this house? Because it doesn't look like a big house.
It's not a big
house.
house.
It's not a big house.
Right. So where is Freddy? Like, is he just hiding behind a curtain somewhere and just waiting for something? Like, because how is he not like in the vicinity of what's going on?
Yeah, no, that makes zero sense because he was just there.
Correct.
Not much time has passed since what just happened.
Correct.
So he should be showing up again. But as we see like a few, really in movie time for the rest of the movie, it's really like exactly beat for beat of like the time that's happening that we're watching because he's hiding. Like we see him hiding. Like, so maybe from there, he was hiding like a chicken shit like that whole time because that's when Michael comes down the stairs. Mm-hmm. Rudy is basically trying to break the window with Sarah and then Jim's just standing there. I think that kill was kind of cool.
I like
for
that one.
Michael to show his chops.
Yeah.
Michael was basically like, I don't need my knife. Sticks it in the wall to hang. And then I love Rudy's like, run. And again, Jim's paralyzed, can't move.
Everybody, and not for nothing, Sarah's the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She leaves everybody constantly.
Yeah.
Like she's
smart.
She's always smart, and she's also like doesn't really care about anybody. Like literally, like I mean, even the guy that get the chef, he's like he helps her out, and then she runs away, like doesn't think about helping him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
She really forgets about everybody.
I think Michael realizes that Jim is the biggest piece of shit. So he's like, all right, I'm going to make yours extra special. So he sticks that knife in the wall and he just grabs his skull and he lifts him up. And
I was waiting for his eyeball to pop out.
That was rough. I was waiting for something.
I thought his eyeball would pop out, but that happens in Friday the 13th. He squeezes the guy's head, and the googly eyes pop out because if you watch it like now, it looks so ridiculous. It looks like a Mr. Potato Head, like those glasses, like not Mr. Potato Head, like those glasses you buy at the store and like they fall down. That you put that's what it looks like.
Yeah, with the slinky eyes. Yeah.
And then this is where we get like the weirdest scene again. Like Rudy, all of his lines, besides when he's stoned, is about like food and this. But when he grabs the knives and he gets Michael, because he was like, Michael, come on, Michael. And he grabs the knives. And I love it. He goes, you like sushi, motherfucker? And I'm like, what?
he was using those knives like as if he knows what he's doing. Like he was like
for that line, I feel like Busta was off scene and be like, yo, Sean Patrick Thomas, I got a great line for you to say.
Oh,
you like sushi, motherfucker?
But it just
the only thing I did like was the POV of seeing Michael, like when they showed the kids watching it, when you showed the slashes going at Michael and he was like ducking out of them, and that was a pretty badass kill. Like out of the franchise, he has a lot of like, I don't know, there's not a ton of the kills that I'm like, whoa, that's so freaky, because most of his kills that are the really gross ones are all setup ones that you see after the fact. Like when he kills people in garages, and it seems every movie when he steals the mechanic jumpsuit, because that's when you see the really grotesque. Like you'll see a guy's head smashed under like a car.
Wait, there's multiple garages that he goes to?
He does it in H2O. He does it in Halloween 4.
Do you think he goes to the same garage every time?
In 2018? Yeah.
Because he already knows the size fits him, so you might as well go to the same garage every time.
Well, what do you think? They hire the same guy? They're like, hey, you have to be the same. We ordered 20 of these things. I put in the order for 2. They give us 20, so we can only hire guys that are 6'4".
Michael is aware he should never kill that one guy that looks his size, because otherwise they're going to get rid of his outfits. He kills everybody else but that one guy.
And then he just steals that guy.
And he steals this guy's clothes.
And this guy keeps getting annoyed. He keeps saying in like his like heart underwear or boxers, like, hey, someone keeps stealing my clothes.
And poor Gary, the mechanic, is like, you keep stealing my fucking jumpsuits.
Hey, I know that. Wouldn't that be funny if it said Gary on his outfit? That'd be great. But the fact that Rudy uses paprika, throws it in his eyes to stun him a little bit, starts going to slash at him, and he goes for the door that's closest to him to try to get out, and then he's like kind of stuck, and he goes for like a double knife thing on him, and then Michael does the old turn the knives on you, sticks him in the wall. And I do love that he goes back into the drawer, because in that first scene when Rudy was checking out the knives, he was like, oh, do you think this is the one he killed his sister with?
That was a dumb line.
But don't you think that's risky for Busta Rhymes? Like, you're putting these kids in this house that, and you're trying to scare them with a serial killer. Wouldn't you, like, as one of the kids, try to protect yourself? So doesn't he think that's possible? Stab him. I mean, like, that would, like, especially leaving a knife like that in there. That would be the first thing I would have grabbed.
I feel like there should be some line in here being like, how am I going to explain this to insurance? Like, oh my God.
I don't think it's worth that insurance. This entire, this whole situation that he's doing is no insurance.
This has gone to shit. Like, oh no, not again.
And even at this point, when he gets stuck on the wall, Rudy, and then he gets the big knife through his chest, and he pulls the knife out, the kids still watching are still thinking it's like sort of even though he's like swinging on the door.
Yeah, they're cheering. They're cheering.
I mean, and this is like a low budget show, right? It's an internet show.
Yeah,
even if they thought it was right, so even if they thought it was fake, they think they have that much special effects to do these kills that look that realistic.
Yeah.
Oh, dumb.
But we do get from here, this is when Deckard helps, because Sarah like knows that, hey, he'd be watching. She goes, stands up on a chair, like talks right into one of the cameras, and then he starts like texting her.
What a loser.
Which the technology of this texting, the fact that he's able to change the size of the text that she's receiving.
And did you see how she's texting him? She's using like a stylus pen to write the letters, and the letters pop up on the screen. I was like, what year was this made? This isn't available now. Well, it is available now, but available now.
But they were talking to each other through the computer, not through text, right? On a phone?
Well, she was on her...
No. I'm talking about
cell phone.
I'm talking about in the beginning of the movie. It was a computer. It was a chat.
Yeah.
So
she was on her iBook.
Yeah, so I doubt she had his phone number. Like, they had phone numbers. The fact that now he's texting her on her phone. Because why would you continue on it?
Maybe it was like an AOL chat. No, because remember when the buddy said, hey, talking to a girl in Yahoo chat room isn't...
But that's what I mean. So why would you talk there if you have each other's cell?
I thought it was through iMessage.
That's true, yeah.
So they were texting each other, though, on the phone.
Oh, it wasn't through...
No,
it wasn't through BBM?
I don't think so.
So stupid. So stupid.
But I do love that he's giving her play-by-play, and then they have like a little quick standoff on the roof, and this is when he gets caught. Oh no, that's in the other part.
Yeah.
There's just so many of the same things that are happening over and over again. But he like tricks her to she tricks Michael to go out on the roof. She goes back in. She's like, oh, where is he? And he's like, oh, he's still, oh no, he can't see him, right? That's what the whole thing is. And then he's like, go now. And the letters are huge on the screen.
Bold, like super bold. Yeah.
So every door and window are locked in this house, right?
Yeah.
That seems like a fire hazard to me.
Which makes no sense because the back definitely has to be open, which obviously they get to that later. Why wouldn't Busta say that the first time when he sees her? Like, let's go to that.
How did Michael Myers get in there?
That door.
Underneath.
For some reason, one door is open.
Yeah, but the wall was there.
And where does that tunnel that goes underneath?
But the wall was there, so he couldn't have got through the tunnel because the wall was there. It wasn't broken yet.
Yeah. That's not how he originally got into the house. He got into the house. Well, he got into the house when they were setting everything up because he was peeping at her when she showed up. Like when they got there, first arrived, he was already in the house. But I think it was just that back. So at this point, wouldn't Busta be like, hey, let's go to this one? Because I think he even tries to go out another thing at least once. But one thing I do like about his character, which I think he should have died, because I think any of those horror movies, when people put people in harm's way, they should die. Like Mayor Vaughn in Jaws should have somehow died.
Oh, definitely.
And gotten eaten. but that's a story for another day. Which, even though we covered the second one already, but Busta at least doesn't back down because, man, Michael kind of kicks the shit out of him.
He
Like,
does, but
throws him across the room.
So does he know karate just from watching it on TV?
I hate that he made the sounds.
It's just so stupid. Yeah, right. Like it made it very comical, and it's like, all right, you got to. This has been a horror movie, and it's like to me that was such a cheese factor of him doing karate on Michael Myers.
I don't care about the karate. The sound effects.
No, but I do.
Even worse.
The fact that he knows karate from watching it on TV. Yeah. I mean, come on.
His reintroduction though to it, where he comes out of the shadows, grabs her, and goes, "My God, everyone's dead. We got to get the fuck out of here."
You know what? And she doesn't seem that upset about it.
Yeah,
she seems more concerned of getting out of the house than the fact that 5 people that she was hanging out with just died.
2 of them, 2 of which are her friends from before that night. No
remorse
nothing.
at all.
Nothing. But yeah, the kung fu is oh my God. Watch Chun-Li.
Hated it.
But he does karate kick him out the window.
He's
hung by a wire.
He kicks the shit out of him.
At this point, the scene before, Deckard couldn't see outside the house because there was no cameras outside the house. Yeah. But this point, he's able to because he messages her he's still alive. And then she wrote, "Where is he?"
Well, she has the camera. She has the camera on her. She's still wearing the camera.
No, I know that, but I'm saying Deckard watching this, could see outside the house now, but he couldn't see on the roof before.
Well,
he's still alive.
Did she strangle him with one of the camera cables? Like, is that what she like? Is that what he was hanging by?
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that's how he could see outside.
Unless it was still connected. That's true. Yeah. But he cuts himself loose.
What kind of cable is that? That's the strongest cable ever for.
It looked like really cheap, really skinny wires. But yeah, because he's able to text her. He's in the house. And then, dude, when he's in the house and he's right over their shoulder, like he's the greatest peeper.
She's like, "Where is he?" And he literally comes up like.
He literally moves so quietly for a big guy. I don't know how he does it. And it's an old house. You'd think there's got to be some creaks somewhere. Right throughout.
Yes.
Nothing.
Creaky floorboards. Yeah, creaky floorboards.
Nothing.
They fall through the steps.
He must have like the softest shoes. That
wrestling shoes. He probably wears wrestling shoes.
I don't know. They look like Doc Martens. So
which would definitely make noise throughout the house. So yeah, but no one hears.
But yeah, stabs the shit out of Freddy, and you're like, oh my God, is this
right in the shoulder
going to happen? And then we do the typical end of a slasher movie. She's running around. We are running away from him. Everywhere she goes, she runs into a dead body that's like set up. The cameraman, Jim. So she's like reintroduced to all these. She goes into the tunnel. She finds the redhead girl and she escapes. What does she escape through? Oh, she finds another hatch. So through there that led into the garage.
This is a normal house in a neighborhood, right? That has hatches throughout the house.
Creepy.
It's ridiculous. What? Okay.
And he gets her a little bit. He slashes her calf just before.
Okay. She gets slashed twice in Achilles, maybe even so. Yeah. Yet she's still able to run like nothing. Yeah. I don't think she limps once. I think she gets slashed. She runs on one leg, and then later on in the movie, she gets slashed on her other leg.
Yeah,
and acts like nothing. Like
no hobbling,
nothing.
Super strong calves. Strong calves.
Able to wield a chainsaw. So we get a little like Friday 5 action.
She comes out, yeah.
She has a chainsaw at him.
Okay, wait, hold on. So this is still at Michael Myers' house?
It's in his garage, yeah, where they set up
the chainsaw just happens to work, has gasoline in there, and it's
thinking about Friday right now.
Just enough to start it for like a second. Just enough just enough for like...
It's been sitting there for 10 years. Like, it's not going to work. I barely get my lawnmower working after 1 year of one winter, in the spring. They're going to get the chainsaw working?
Yeah.
And then it breaks. She throws it at him, and then he's getting ready to kill her. And what happens? Freddy walks in, and it was like watching a soap opera or one of those shows that a character's dead, and it's like, oh, I thought you died in the shipwreck. And the shock, because without a mask that obviously the mouth opens, he looked shocked. Maybe he always looks shocked in that mask, but he looks at Freddy like, holy shit, this guy's alive. And then we get a little battle.
Trick or
and he
treat,
says,
motherfucker.
Trick or treat, motherfucker. Like, what?
I mean, it's like, to me, like having Busta Rhymes go 1-on-1 multiple times with Michael Myers, like this guy's a cameraman. Like, I mean, it's just so dumb. Like, I understand if it was Arnold. All right, fine. Michael Myers has a battle. Stallone
Arnold
out
versus-
there, Van Damme. Throw one of those guys out there. Fine, it's gonna be a nice battle. Busta Rhymes, like that's your action hero. Oh.
And how does he kill Michael Myers?
Well,
he shocks him in the balls.
Shucks him with the dick.
Michael Myers is pretty tough because he doesn't nothing. There's never a sound.
Nope.
If he is human, he's not a zombie. Does he not feel pain at all?
What? Maybe he crushed his own larynx too.
He wears a cup too.
I don't want to speak
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right. Can you die getting shocked in the nuts?
I don't know, but then he really dies when Busta uses like Nora's like his girlfriend.
Does he really die though?
What?
Yeah, he doesn't seem that upset that his girlfriend is literally hanging from the ceiling above from where they are right now.
Not at all. No,
Not
he's
at all.
not. When the TV crew and he's talking to people, he's like cheery.
What?
Yeah.
So he picks her up and walks out like a superhero. Like he literally plays this role like he's a superhero.
Yeah.
Like, he takes him on the first time, he gets beat up, he comes back, he rescues it in the middle of fire, he picks her up and walks out of the come on. It's just ridiculous. It's just so dumb.
And his line to leave the garage is, "Hey Mikey, happy fucking Halloween."
So dumb. So dumb. So dumb.
And you know what? One thing I kind of wanted in this movie, I don't know how far away they were because we never established like where Deckard lives, the Miles, but the fact that she went through this traumatic experience, right? Super traumatic. Like this is something that she's going to think about for the rest of her life. And then maybe she'd be like, "Oh my God, this guy saved me. Oh my God, this is so great." And then he's a fucking high school freshman. Like, wow.
Well, why did Deckard go there and save her instead of Busta Rhymes?
I don't know where he was. I know they never established where he was, which they should have.
Well,
Yeah.
Maybe he was too far away.
But they knew that she was at Michael Myers' place.
You got to
So he
think too.
could-
This
Oh, you mean
this,
that?
this is before Uber too, so he really couldn't get like anywhere. He was stuck at that party until his parents picked him up.
I guess. I don't know.
That would have been cool if he did show up, like even at the house. Like, yeah.
And then she's like, "Wait a minute, that's what you look like? You're like a small little kid? Oh fuck! Like, oh man."
A kid on another kid in a trench coat.
Yeah, he's standing on his friend's shoulders in a trench coat, like
Muppet Man.
Yeah.
Him and his buddy. He sits on the little Samuel Jackson guy.
Oh my
It
god!
worked.
Oh my god!
So then we again Busta in the presser when he's getting interviewed. He's able to throw all these lines out. Like one, he starts making fun of Michael, and he says he's wearing those baggy ass overalls.
Yeah.
And then we get
he's a
so then
killer
the body's
shark.
getting taken away.
Okay. So
That's
Michael's
funny.
Meyer was basically melted in this house fire, his barn fire or whatever, garage fire.
Yeah.
But he looked completely fine when they pulled him out.
He looked all right.
Like his mechanic outfit doesn't seem to get bothered at all. His mask was melted.
Yeah.
Right?
It was melted.
Okay, so that I'm okay with that. Is it that easy to find another mask like that? Because
I think so.
And I think
go ahead.
I think the overalls are flame resistant too.
Okay.
Gary keeps some really nice flame resistant overalls at the mechanics.
Yeah, Gary.
I hate the and I knew it was coming, but I hate the fact that he opened his eye.
Well,
wait,
that's at the
we're
very,
not
very
there.
end.
We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet. Okay, all right, fine.
No, that was at the very, very end that they shot in New York. That wasn't Brad. They like reshot that part.
I know, but
hopefully this
all right.
works and then you guys can see the.
But wait, and we get Busta's great line too. Look at a little crispy there, Mikey. Like some chicken fried, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's acting like he didn't get slashed multiple times.
And that his girlfriend of probably years, who he started this business with, was not hanging from the fucking ceiling.
Well, you don't know if it's his girlfriend. He could have just been like, his just whatever piece.
Well, when they were cheering over the wine and everything, then he's like, "Man, we worked so hard for this. Like, baby, this is
a business partner. It doesn't mean it's his girlfriend, But I mean, he's slashed how many? I mean, he got slashed a lot. You think you're able to pick someone up, run around, fight? Like I don't think you're able to do anything.
He had a steak knife in his shoulder.
Yeah, you're not doing anything.
And he just had a sling.
Yeah, he's all right. He's cool.
Well,
it's not letting me play this. So the people that are listening, I'll share this on our social media at Sequels Only on Twitter and on like Instagram. But so the ending scene, I'll describe it to you guys. So she does the usual. She's like, "Oh, let me see his face." So all that's the same firefighter guy, and she's looking. She opens it up, same like crispy face, and here the eyes do open at the gurney there, like on the scene, and he looks a little different, like, but he moves, grabs Busta, and then she grabs an axe.
Oh.
And hits him in the face.
Oh.
And then he's dead.
Then he's dead. But that's again the problem with this franchise, because this ended this story, and then Rob Zombie rebooted it, and then 2018 they're totally different. But like when you do this to these movies, it kind of like there's nowhere you can go from it. Like Final Chapter, they did it because they were like, we're gonna be done with this, and then Zombie Jason was born 2 movies later. But it just, I don't know why they had to do anything like that. But I think that's what Brad, when he was done with the movie, he's like, it's over. But then they had to add that what they filmed, in a studio in New York.
But that, you know what, you take every single Nightmare on Elm Street, there was always a Freddy coming back, like opening his eyes. Like I think with Friday the 13th, they didn't always do that. Like when the movie ended, like they didn't give you that like Jason opening his eyes, right? Like that didn't happen.
Oh no, they were always
right. You feel like it's the last one.
Of Friday the 13th was told this is the last one. With these, maybe they did the same thing, but I don't know if they would have done that. Like if they knew that Jamie Lee Curtis in her contract they were going to do another H2O, why did they decapitate him?
Right. No, I know.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, I know.
At all. But yeah. So that was Halloween Resurrection. Wow, we did it just around 2 hours. Let's make this part a little quick. So obviously we know how we felt about this movie when we were talking about it. In 60 words or less, Nick, I don't know, what do you have a favorite sequel of the Halloween movies? How about that?
I love 2 and 4. Those are the new ones are pretty good.
Choices.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 was just great because it just continues right where 1 left off, and 4 was good because I don't know, I just really like 4. But yeah,
Jamie really enjoyed 4 too. When we covered that one, that was a good one. No, really, that was
I know. I liked her. I thought she did a great job.
Danielle Harris was really good. Donna Pleasance too was like really good.
I've only seen a handful of these. I do like the first new one with Jamie Lee Curtis. The one that takes place.
Yes. 2018 was great.
Right. The first, so that, really the second one was good too, but the first that was probably my favorite one. I think the first one, and I'm going to go with even with this one. One thing I don't like about Michael Myers, I can't stand the breathing. Like I feel like
he breathed really hard in this one.
Well, he does it in the first one too. We watched the first one recently, he does a lot of heavy breathing, and it's like it just takes. It's almost makes it comical. It's like, all right, he's suffocating himself in a stupid mask. You know,
it's like Darth Vader or something.
Oh.
But yeah, so Jamie, do you have 2018?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say my favorite sequel, I would say 4. I don't know, because they brought it back, just like I think the same thing with because it could have been done. Like if Season of the Witch maybe sort of worked and people were like okay with it, Michael might have been sort of done forever, but people like were so upset, brought back Michael, I think in a pretty cool way. Great cast of actors in that movie, just like Friday 5. It has cool things that we enjoyed about it, but if that movie never happened, we've never gotten Zombie Jason. So, and this is pretty cool. So this is going to kick off, like, I would say a lot of our listeners love horror. So this is going to kick off like a 3 in a row. And I think the way me and Jamie talked about this is almost like out of like the main 3 slashers, because I would say these are still the main 3 that we're going to be covering in a row. I would say Mike, in my opinion, Michael gets bronze. And then the next sequel that we're going to be covering, Freddy gets. I
don't remember. See, I know at least like I never saw this movie, so this is the first time I saw Resurrection. I don't remember the Freddy and Friday the 13th movie. I've seen them. I just don't remember it. I'm sure it'll come back to
Cool.
me. But I mean, these
So next up is Freddy's Dead, the final Friday. So there's cool behind the scenes things with this movie. Like Peter Jackson wrote a treatment of the script and never made headway. So we'll talk about some of that. I couldn't find the script online, but there's some cool stories in like the Never Sleep Again documentary, which I always recommend, and Crystal Lake Memories. All of those are so freaking good. They're so well done. Great behind the scenes stories. And so it'd be fun to talk about that. I interviewed for it Jeffrey Farley, special effects guy, worked on like the Blob. He worked on a ton of movies, but I think the coolest thing about the conversation with him was the relationships he had with Eddie Yang, and then also the relationship he had with Tim Lawrence, because he kind of knew Tim. He worked on a lot of John Buechler stuff, and he almost worked on Friday 7. So a lot of the Buechler movies. He didn't work on Ghoulies Go to College, unfortunately, but great stories from his career. The stories about the Blob and some of the stuff that he did in that, like so ahead of its time, and it still looks amazing to this day. So it was a great chat with him. So next up is interview with Jeffrey Farley, and then after that, Freddy's Dead, the final Friday, and then we finish off with the gold medal after that, and that's going to be a Jason, which should be fun too. So Nick, thank you, and don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.